several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Updating your home with James Hardie Siding has never been more popular. With all of the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie Siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family. Available at Walmart and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, they have told us in broad terms that making sure that Hamas can never again threaten Israel in the way it threatened Israel before is their core strategic objective in this conflict. But in terms of what the specific milestones are, that is something that ultimately is up to Israel. This is their military operation. They will make that decision. And we will continue to ask the hard questions of them, Margaret, that we would ask of ourselves in a military operation like this. What exactly are the objectives? How are the means matched to the objectives, and how will this evolve over time?
That's Jake Sullivan. He's the national security advisor for the Biden administration, talking about what he wants Israel's goals to be and what they are to ensure Hamas can no longer threaten them. How much are you taking this in? When you are going through scrolling for, Instagram posts or Twitter posts or whatever because City is playing in the soccer playoffs, or you're trying to pay attention to the World Series. And if your timeline I think that looking at someone's timeline is a very interesting thing because you get to see all of their interests, but they're all just mushed together in one place. So I have sports and I have politics and I have like Disney World stuff scattered in there, stand-up comedians, and it's kind of interesting how they can all kind of tie together. And your interests look a little jumbled to other people, I'm sure, but then they make sense to you. Maybe you're into baking, and it's like, okay, here's what's going on in Israel, and this is what Hamas did to Israel while they were there, and this is how you make a great pumpkin muffin. Isn't it jarring? Isn't it also indicative of American life? Of the way that Americans get to live their lives? Real stuff is going on in the world, and we get to choose where our attention is applied. And the truth of the matter also is that you cannot live and breathe this stuff 24/7. It will make you crazy. There are stories out there about what Hamas did when they went into Israel that I just can't believe. If you would have heard that story from a history book or a history museum about something that took place in the Holocaust, it would be on the grotesque side of what you consume from a entirely grotesque story of the Holocaust. It's just unimaginable. And it's real. And it's here. And it's now. I'm having all sorts of different conversations in my life with people that are Jewish, with people who are connected to the military, have military expertise, people who have served in and among the Middle East and understand the way these various groups operate in a way that I have no idea and hope to never understand with the first-person experience that these individuals have. I have conversations with political people who have strong political opinions about what America should do next. And with every conversation I have, it just breeds more questions. It seems like the more that I know, the less I understand. And part of living in a civilized country, in a civilized culture, is that these things that we're hearing, you shouldn't be able to understand it. You shouldn't be able to consume some of these news stories and go, well, that makes sense. Because it's unimaginable. And I think that one of the things that I'm struggling the most with is how to apply, what I do for a living is I'm constantly in tune with the political news. It's October 30th. The election is November 5th of 2004. We are 372 days from the election, which means we are on the brink of being less than a year out from the presidential election. And it often seems incredibly trivial to sit here and be like, well, let's talk about the GOP primary and the fact that Mike Pence dropped out of the race this weekend. I think the phrase that I saw in headlines a lot, I didn't bother to watch his announcement speech. How long is this clip? 38 seconds. I didn't pay attention to this because I think the point of him dropping out is that people weren't interested.
I came here to say it's become clear to me. This is not my time. So after much prayer and deliberation, I have decided to suspend my campaign for president effective today. Now, I'm leaving this campaign, but let me promise you, I will never leave the fight for conservative values, and I will never stop fighting to elect principled Republican leaders to every office in the land. So help me God.
If we weren't talking about being on the brink of World War III, we'd talk about the merits of Mike Pence in the race, and we'd probably joke about, I guess he was the last one in the room to realize, no, this wasn't his time. It never was his time. And then there would be people who are in the super pro-Trump camp who'd probably want to dump on Mike Pence for not being MAGA enough. And then there'd be the other ones who would be talking about how he's a principled, strong Christian man, and that's what matters. We go into all of it. But at the end of the conversation, you would know that you were either pro-Pence or anti-Pence the way you were supposed to fall in line along political lines. And that would be the fruit of the labor of having the conversation so that we would all know where we sit on the issue. And it's more important to know where someone else sits so that you can judge them based on their decision to fall on one side of the aisle or the other. And it's important for yourself to identify openly where you fall on a particular issue, because you need everybody else to understand, no, I'm one of you. I'm with you. Just seems useless. When you're hearing the horrific stories that I will do my best to not repeat on these airwaves, because I'm thinking about my children sitting in the car with me and hearing something like this and having to change the radio as fast as I can so that they're not exposed to the inventively horrific things that happened to the Jewish people in Israel on October 7th. We can sit and we can argue about Mike Pence, and I'm going to sit here and tell you that I love Mike Pence. I think he's a great human. I think he was a great vice president. He was, from all accounts of people who I know who live in Indiana, a great governor, and even before that, a really great radio show broadcaster. I have no problems with Mike Pence. And that's going to upset some people who are super pro-Trump, and I'm going to lose a little bit of my Trump cred, of which I do not spend or save currency in. But Mike Pence isn't the enemy. Chris Christie isn't the enemy. Donald Trump is not the enemy. Can it be made more clear to you, to me, to the people in your life that matter, who the enemy is right now? Because the enemy is evil. There is an incredibly bold iteration of evil that is free on this planet right now, emboldened on this planet right now, and we don't have time to smack each other around over Mike Pence, over Matt Gaetz, over Kevin McCarthy or Mike Johnson. There is a common enemy that we need to unite around. And the strongest thing that we can do to combat that enemy is to fortify the United States of America, is to firmly plant our feet on what makes America great. On the idea of peace through strength, folks, this is the question I keep asking myself. What is America supposed to be doing right now to help the incredibly dramatic, to its core, issues that are facing the world right now? What is America supposed to do? And I've got really bad news for you today. It's too late. The stories that you're reading, the stories that I've read, that I've heard, the images that somehow creep into my timeline of the aftermath of what terrorists did and are promising to do more of, that is done. It is over. It is a part of history. We can't undo it. We are reaping what we've sown in the world because America decided to be weak. America decided to, on a global scale, appease those who wish us harm, who wish freedom in other places around the world harm. We have been made to be weak because our leaders are weak and because they don't love America first. This idea of America first is not to suggest that we look around the world and think everybody else last, or not even at all. The only way we get to present American strength is by focusing first on us and making sure that we get to do the most powerful mom stare in church. Do you know the one I'm talking about? When someone starts to misbehave a little bit and they're trying to see what they can get away with, and mom looks over, she just turns her head, she looks locks you in the eyes, and you know, okay, I've got it. Message understood. I'll sit here and pay attention. You know that look? We can't give that look because we don't mean it. And you know what happens in a church setting like that? Mom delivers the look, and the child should know immediately, I need to straighten up here. When the child doesn't do that, dad starts to sit up in the pew, and he starts going towards the kid because the kid's going to go outside. The lesson that was not received with the look, that is the peace that the child can choose to participate in through strength when dad takes the child outside to give him a lecture or a pat on the bottom or whatever the appropriate measure is to make sure that the kid does get the message. Because there is a behavior that is expected. It's civilized behavior that is expected in the world, and we cannot give the church stare to anybody, and they don't take us seriously. And this is what happens. I am struggling mightily with an understanding of what is America supposed to do right now, because I am pretty confident in what America will not do. America will not do the same things that they chose not to do on day one of President Biden's presidency. Crippling American energy and down the road fortifying Russia, Iran, appeasing China. The world problems bubble up to the surface when America is weak, and Joe Biden is the weakest among them. Our apathy as voters, as constituents, as people who need to wield the power of a free republic where you can make phone calls, you can have discussions, and you can hold your elected officials accountable in a civilized way, which is at the ballot box. We have to do better. And when I am looking around the world right now, my social media feeds right now, when I'm looking into Hollywood right now, when I'm seeing what people are saying who are influencers, it is the most undetermined climate right now for who's going to come down on what side. I can't think of, in my time of paying attention to news and politics, a time where even celebrities, I have to wait to see what they're going to say to know where they fall on the issue. Because there are people right now who are looking at what's going on in Israel, and it's not obvious to them. And if it's obvious to you, you know, the suggestion of a two-state solution, the two-state solution ploy, that idea of a two-state solution, Israel, I'm sure, would be very content with an operation where both sides had the ability to live in harmony and peace. But the truth is that the true state solution is a plan that the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian side, of which they're not always the same, but I don't see enough pro-Palestinian people condemning Hamas for bringing this existence on the Palestinian people. The people who are willing not to march in the streets or across some bridge, the people who are willing to decapitate those who are living peacefully in their homes, about ready to share a meal, those people do not believe in a two-state solution, and those people are the ones who are responsible for this moment in time. All eyes on Hamas. Jewish, Palestinian, American, freedom-loving people. All eyes on Hamas. Rid them. There's no other way about it. The enrichment that Hamas has enjoyed through the empowerment of Iran, who has enjoyed enrichment on behalf of America. That's where we key in our focus. And you get the people on record who represent you. Find out who they stand for. And if they've said already that they stand for Israel, make sure they say it again this week. And make sure they say it again next week, because the apathy, when it becomes less popular because the small minority that has a grasp on the majority of the social media conjecture, They have a way of making it seem as though this voice is much louder than it truly is. Make sure that your elected officials speak clearly and frequently to this issue. Hold them accountable right now. And then again, in November of 2024. Maybe the whole world is at stake. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to get Brad's thoughts on the weekend news. The development of these stories as they continue to be revealed in video, and I've got to constantly pull myself back from watching. And sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not. And I regret it when I see it, but I feel as though I know what is going on there because I've seen it. Not been told it. I've seen it. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
ClassicKitchenRefacing.com if you're looking for the website. They're located in St. Anne, and these are wonderful people. It's a family-owned and operated business, and they understand how to take your kitchen, bring it right into modern day with beautiful finishes, maybe very, postmodern or mid-century modern or just, classic traditional looks. That's usually my favorite. And they get to do it for so much less. If you've been thinking about doing your kitchen, having it just completely revamped, don't make a decision on what you're going to do until you've talked to the people at Classic Kitchen Refacing. Just trust me on this. Have the conversation. You don't need to go in there ready to make a commitment, of course. But before you make a choice on what you're going to do, consider the people who can do it for incredibly less. Because they come in and they completely reface your cabinetry. They will make it have a beautiful wood finish. They can give it a beautiful paint color, change the hinges and the handle pulls so that they're a modern finish that you really love, adding in a beautiful backsplash and those Cambria quartz countertops that are absolutely stunning. Call Classic Kitchen Refacing and set up an appointment or just stop by in St. Anne, 314-739-1730. 314-739-1730. Online at ClassicKitchenRefacing.com.
This Halloween, add a touch of fiery excitement to your celebrations with Ghost Tequila. 100% agave tequila perfectly paired with spicy ghost peppers. The subtle spice intoxicates your senses, only to disappear without a trace after a few seconds. Sip it solo or give your favorite drink a kick in the glass. Ghost Tequila is the life of the party. It's no wonder that 1 in 6 margaritas ordered is spicy. Summon the heat this Halloween and ask for Ghost Tequila by name at your favorite bar or restaurant.
Surprise!
Surprise!
Surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
The Capitol Grill is effortlessly arranged and customized for you. Whether it's a private room, an elegant table setting, dry-aged steaks paired with world-class wines, or an intimate party or business reception, make this part of your memorable private dining experience this holiday season. Every private dining room is elegantly appointed and offers seating capacities that range from 12 to 60. For reservations, call the Capitol Grill in Clayton today, 314-725-0930, or visit thecapitolgrill.com.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Conservatives Care is honored to support Kelsey's Hope Foundation, supporting children with cancer and their families. Annie here, 97.1 FM Talk is proud to support Kelsey's Hope. Give back at the Tree of Hope Gala on November 18th. Learn more at 971talk.com/care.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Now and then I think of when we were together. Like when you said you felt so happy you could die. I told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But that was love and it's an ache I still remember.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
You can get addicted to a certain kind of sadness, like resignation to the end, always the end. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we would still be friends, but I'll admit that I was glad it was over.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just thinking about, we're having a brief conversation here off the air, and we had a meeting. What was it? It wasn't Friday. It was Thursday. It's like, don't let the music go too long. So I look up at the clock, and I'm like, how long did we let that play? I think it was too long. I was talking in the first segment about the news as it's coming in and how heavy it is, and where do we go from here? We're going to speak with retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg at 1:25. One of my favorite kinds of conversations. When we get to, the lineup that we have on this show for foreign policy.
Oh, man.
I'm so grateful for it. And as a listener, please understand that they come on the show because of you. They want to talk to you, and you are valuable to them. But to be able to speak with Keith Kellogg, with Jim Carafano, Dakota Hudson from time to time with the Heritage Foundation, among others, we've got a great lineup of people to stay abridged of these issues. And so we'll speak with him at 1:25 today. I am curious. If you have not joined us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel before, when I see questions come in from you that you would have for a guest, I am not opposed to asking your questions at all. So when you have thoughts or you have questions because you don't understand something or you wonder something, please, I invite you to come to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and we'll broadcast. We do broadcast every day there live. You can watch the show and you can comment along and let us know what you want to think. Brad, when I'm thinking about the question that I want to have answered, because I am a brooder over problems that need solutions, and I will think about said problem until I come up with a solution, not even a solution that will ever be implemented, but just identify a problem. How would that problem be fixed? And then I just sit and think about it.
Yeah.
I don't really just sit. I'm usually doing 800 other things, but I'm also thinking about it. And the conflict that is in the Middle East, when I think about what America needs to do to solve this problem, we created this problem, in my opinion, and we've permitted it to happen. It's like a wild beast that's been gnawing at a gate, and America is the gate that keeps it closed. And we're like, we're not going to open the gate, but we are going to unlock it. And if that beast decides to burst through it, it's going to find out it isn't locked. How long has it not been locked for? And now we have to figure out what to do with the beast that is now wild.
Yeah. Man, when you're trying to think of a solution, and I don't know if you're specifically talking about Israel and Hamas or just the Middle East in general. I know you said the United States caused this problem, but that struggle, that battle, that war, that unrest that is in the Middle East is older than the United States is even a country. I mean, old. You're talking BCE old, from Bedouin tribes roaming across the Arabian desert, not getting along with one another. The conflict is so old. And you said you like to sit around and you like to look for a solution. And whenever I stop and I think about the war in Israel and what's going on right now, people are not going to like what the solution will be. And that's based 100% off of the stance of one of the sides. Hamas has said there can be no peace. The Charter of 1988 says there will be no peace, no negotiations. And then it talks about from the river to the sea. That means that what is currently Israel, for them to be happy, cannot exist. So Hamas's stated goal, and several others, groups with that same goal, have stated that the only way that there will be peace is once Israel is gone. Now, Israel would be happy with a two-state solution, but these other
If it meant
groups,
peace.
if it meant peace, yeah. But these other groups are no, Israel can't exist.
And let's be specific about what it means for Israel to not exist.
Yeah. It means exactly what it sounds like it means.
It's not about a land.
No.
It's about a people.
Yes.
You can go. Did I send you the? It wasn't for radio because it was, I assume, in Arabic or whatever.
Yes.
This man is preaching from like a pulpit of sorts, and he's specifically laying out what it is, what the point is.
Yeah.
It's the eradication of Jews.
Yes.
It's not the occupation of a square footage of land.
Right. Is the eradication of Jews, the elimination of an entire people group for no other reason than who they are as a people.
You're right that the struggle between these two entities, the Jewish people or Israel, and the people who find religious jihad in conflict with the existence of Israel and the Jewish people is as old as Abraham and Ishmael. And the conflict is not one that will, I mean, as a Bible-believing Christian myself, and I would assume as an Old Testament-believing Jewish person, that's not me, but for the people who that label fits, the solution like this will be fixed when everything is fixed.
Yes.
It's not like Donald Trump is not going to come into office and literally bring peace to the Middle East. Which is where, maybe to be more specific, when I say that this is on America, the idea is that America is what keeps it at bay.
Mm-hmm.
That a problem that exists when the wild and uncivilized small faction, the terrorist, the jihadist part of this group, are let to roam free and to exact terror. Terror is their goal. The more glorious the terror, the more glorious the martyrdom, which is one of the things that was said by this minister.
Imam,
thank you. We have to understand that this wild mentality, this insane mentality, is always seeking to get out. And the way to keep it contained is to defund it first and foremost. And anybody who wants to disagree with that, you don't get an American penny. And the second thing is that we have to have a strength about our country that says, should you choose to challenge us on this, you will regret it for generations to come. Any good threat, any effective threat, I would assume to truly be effective in a threat, you should never have to actually follow through. But the idea that you will follow through and that you will regret the day that you pushed on the challenge is what makes the threat actually effective. It cannot be overstated how ineffective and weak that the Biden administration is right now. And while some people might say, this is potentially wartime, Annie, are you going to question the president of the United States if he's a wartime president? He manifested it. He set the building on fire and then showed up in a fire truck and smiled with a little twinkle in his eye and a thumbs up and said, "You happy to see me?" No, I'm not. The things that continue to develop with the the inappropriate actions, the monies that have come into the Biden family, the corruption that is alleged, that continues to have evidence brought forth that does subsidize the idea that the president was using his vice presidential position and his influence to enrich himself and his family. I mean, seems like we haven't even begun to comb through publicly that evidence, but we sure do have a lot of things to talk about right now that make it so that we can't talk about what the president of the United States has set his focus on in the past 10 years. The adults were supposed to be in charge. We were supposed to be unified. We were going to stop being divided. World War III is breaking out. There are mass shootings happening all over the country. This stuff did not happen like this under Donald Trump. It's time that we have these conversations with our loved ones and be open and calm and kind and compassionate, prepared to continue to disagree after the conversation, but be willing to have the conversation because there's too much at stake. Do not run to your corner. Do not put on every piece of red or blue jersey that you have to make sure everyone knows how righteous you are on the left or how righteous you are on the right. Take it all of that garb, merch off and have a conversation with somebody who cares about you more than they care about your politics. And do the same for them. Care about them more than you care about their politics, but talk to each other. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, it is the Wiggins Monday Roundup here on Wiggins America. He'll tell us all the stories that we missed. And boy, there are some big stories that we are just looking right past because of the huge news cycle that is out there right now. Let's catch up with Ryan Wiggins when we come back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Retirement Advisory Group wants you to know that they're a phone call away for a free conversation to talk about your retirement, what you've saved up for, what you hope to have in retirement. If you're newly retired, there's still plenty of time to sit down and talk with Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group to make sure that your retirement is on track. If you are late in your 50s, if you're in your 60s, and you know that retirement is upon you, call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Have the discussion with them about where you are, your worries, your goals, your dreams for retirement, what you want to leave behind, or if you don't want to leave behind a penny. It's all up to you. And when you talk with the Retirement Advisory Group, you're still in the driver's seat because you're going to listen to how they can help you, and then you're going to make a decision for yourself. Plan your worry-free retirement with the Retirement Advisory Group. Call them at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494, or visit them online at retirementkey.com.
Trick or treat. Halloween is around the corner. Let's not use wishful thinking when it comes to safety. Beware and take care. Don't drink and drive. From your spooky friends at Odyssey and Underlaw Injury Lawyers.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Mark Cox here. Selecting the right real estate agent to sell your home is the single most important factor when selling a house. Imagine needing heart surgery. Would you choose a surgeon who performs hundreds of successful surgeries a year, or one with minimal experience and mediocre success rates? Selling your home is like doing open heart surgery on your finances. That's why I recommend you call Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty and get to know her like I have. Gloria will give you multiple selling options when selling your home. For 20 years, she's been helping home sellers just like you get the most money for their home. Listen, experience, a proven track record, and guarantees matter when you're relying on an agent to get you the most money in the least amount of time. Selling your home, there's only one call you should make. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Searching for truth in a world of angles, positions, and outright lies. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
She was more like a beauty queen from the movie scene. Said, don't mind, what do you mean? I am the one that'll dance on the floor in the round.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
She told me her name was Billie Jean. She caused a scene, and every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one who dance on the floor in the round. Yeah, people always told me, be careful what you do. Don't run around breaking young girls' hearts. Ooh, mama always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do, 'cause a lie becomes the truth, yeah. Billie Jean is not my love.
This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
About time.
You're
I'm
welcome.
excited.
You're welcome.
See, now I'm pumped.
Before you would have been like, yawn, another Wiggins America. But now,
Yeah, it's totally different.
you're excited.
It's way better.
I'm like super pumped about all the news I missed this weekend.
Yeah, this you said it in the last segment that there is some big news. This is the biggest one, really. Some
Did
of
you say big nose?
Big. I might have. I don't
Okay.
know. This is a big headline here that isn't getting a whole lot of traction today, really, on any of the major news sites or anything.
This is about your personal life?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are not
finally
expecting.
Get rid of that bunion?
We got some toe news.
Ew.
Yeah, you said
Gross.
it. It's not
I didn't
me.
say it like that. I don't want to think about the fact that you have toes.
What is wrong with you?
It's really the problem is between the toes.
Okay, get to the news. The real
I
news.
ate too much sugar.
That is his news.
Real news. GM reaches tentative deal with UAW, ending strikes at Detroit automakers after 6 weeks. It's been a long strike. United Auto Workers and General Motors have agreed to a deal that will put an end to collective bargaining talks between the union and Detroit automakers. GM is the final Detroit automaker to reach this deal. It means it's all going to be moving again here shortly. The 4.5-year tentative agreement must be still ratified, but they are looking like they are ready to roll. So this is pretty much good news across the board, especially if you're worried about inventory and buying a car soon. The only cloud to this silver lining, as there usually is that the strikes have collectively cost GM, Ford, and Stellantis billions of dollars in lost production. And Ford said Thursday that the union strike had cost $1.3 billion for them.
Get ready to pay on your next car purchase.
And that's exactly where I was headed. The if this is ratified, which it looks like it will be, the labor cost per vehicle will go up $850 to $900 That's per car, so you know how they're going
On
to
top
pass.
of inflation.
Yeah.
You know what's wild about that is that Ford and these other major auto manufacturers, they're losing money on the EV push, and they're being pushed into that by the Biden administration. This is only going to go farther to widen that gap of profit margin. And, man, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
I mean, if you want a new car, it's probably going to be more expensive, mainly because of inflation, but then you tack another $900 onto that, and, of course, you're going to be paying it. All right, that's the biggest news headline from this weekend. But there are a couple others that I wanted to hit here. Namely, if you go into a Panera Bread restaurant soon, every single Panera Bread restaurant in the country, or St. Louis Bread Co., as we call them here, will have to display enhanced disclosures, like big disclosures, about their charged lemonade, that it is high in caffeine after a lawsuit. A spokesperson for Panera Bread shared on Saturday that all restaurants around the country would begin displaying disclosures about the caffeine levels in their charged lemonade.
Is it on a fountain?
Yeah.
If I'm telling my kids that every once in a while that they can have lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it has sugar in it, but maybe I'm constantly torn between letting them have sugar and telling them to have artificial sugars or whatever. And we are a big water family, mostly because it's free. But if I'm pumping my kids full of lemonade and it's full of caffeine and I don't know it, I am not a happy camper.
Yeah. I actually went to, it'd been a long time since I've been to Breadco, and I went there the other day, and I was going to get some lemonade, and I looked at it, and it's like a charged lemonade. This is new. And I looked down, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's got caffeine in it. But it's in those plastic containers that you can see the lemonade churning in and whatnot. So you got to be careful. You got to be real careful.
According to the FDA, the daily maximum amount of caffeine a healthy adult should consume, and I'm assuming we all kind of go over this a little bit, is 400 milligrams of caffeine. A large charged lemonade contains 390 milligrams.
Oh.
So there's your daily consumption total right there in one charged lemonade.
But I just noticed.
No, what'd you do?
Look at my Scooter's coffee cup.
It's the Christmas
cup. It's Christmas. Oh, yay. It's even more delicious now. Carry on.
It's October, though. You know, it's October.
Nothing about what you just said there changes any of my excitement for Christmas. And I spent some money yesterday at Lowe's on Christmas.
Did you? Are you buying gifts or what are you buying?
Oh, heck no. Decorations.
Oh, okay. You buying stuff for the roof?
Nope. Stuff for the ground so we don't have to do the roof.
Okay.
We've talked about this.
I know. It's just checking to make sure you didn't have a change of heart. You want Jared to go up on the roof.
No, I said you could, though.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
You're welcome.
I bought a Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, so we want to hang some lights up and then drag them down and let Stitch hold them. Mm-hmm.
Can I just say, I love creative displays like that where it looks like a Santa's falling off and hanging by the lights and stuff.
Yeah?
I love those things. Or like the Baby Yoda ones where he's making somebody do something in the air with the lights. I love that stuff. No, we don't do any of that.
Growing up, we always went to this one neighborhood to look at Christmas lights, and you would pull up and stop in front of this one house, and then from behind the chimney, they had a Santa that would light up with the reindeer, and it would shoot up into the trees, and then the lights would go out, and then you couldn't see it anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
So cool.
We loved that. We would always go in that
See,
neighborhood.
it made you happy, and it's a lifetime memory.
It really is.
Who wants to put a confinement on that? If you saw it in October, would you have been happy to see it?
Yeah, I was a kid. I love me some Christmas.
See?
Here's
flipping through the catalog, circling toys that I wanted. Oh, good
Go
times.
on, Grinch. What's your next story?
No. Before we move on.
Okay.
The closest I've ever gotten to do something creative like that, and we pretty much do this every year now because it's the same setup, is I put water, a bunch of blue lights on the ground around one of our trees, and it's kind of like running lights. It always looks like running water, and our little deer are drinking out of the water.
Oh.
Okay.
It's cute, right?
I like it.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
You're
If I saw that, that would make me smile.
There you go. November 1st.
Gave me an idea for my bird bath.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with the bird bath around Christmas when the lights go up.
Put some running water in it.
Some running
blue
water.
Blue
lights.
Yeah.
I wish that you folks who can't see the radio right now could see how much Ryan Wiggins is just smiling.
It just makes me happy.
See?
His heart grew 2 sizes.
It wouldn't, it wouldn't make you any it wouldn't make you any less happy if it was October.
Yeah, it would.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, because I would be the one doing it. I don't want to do it in October.
You'd rather do it when it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I was smart and I waited until it was cold. All right.
If I'd have had one more day this weekend, my Christmas decorations have been up.
I'm not arguing with you. I might have done it too.
I'm talking
one more
mostly inside.
warm day, right? Is that what you're saying? Because it got cold Saturday.
No, I'm talking about physical time.
Whoa, another actual
Yeah.
day.
No, I had enough things to do. My dad's birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Chuck. Especially from you. You're his favorite kid.
Mhm.
And
He's my favorite.
second
of
favorite
your
dad.
parents.
He's
I
my
don't know.
favorite dad of yours. So we just had things to get done and get through, but the house is clean and put together and ready for Christmas.
Former President Donald Trump said he has spent over now $100 million in legal fees as he fights a litany of legal battles. He was speaking at a rally in Iowa on Saturday, and he claims to have turned down a bunch of business opportunities while in office, which is what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, man, maybe I should have because I've spent now over $100 million with all these legal fees. That is how nobody else could stand up to this. He's wealthy, so he's able to do it. Anybody else would be bankrupt.
Well, people are like, why are people always signing plea deals?
That's why.
It's expensive to defend yourself in the court of law.
That is exactly why. I really hope, although I am naive enough to think maybe this is possible.
You?
I know. That this would stop with him and not be every single Republican candidate from now on. But I can't imagine they won't. I mean, they're just going to go after these people with lawfare and try to bankrupt every single Republican candidate from now on is my fear. Yeah, it's a good punctuation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Last one.
It's almost like an ellipsis there.
It can be a headache to remember to set the clocks back for daylight savings time, but the annual change can also be the cause of literal headaches. And it's coming this week, by the way. Experts say the change in sleep patterns can trigger cluster migraines, cluster headaches.
My grandpa had cluster headaches.
For people who are already prone to them, because anything that disrupts your circadian rhythm can also trigger those to happen.
I would like to disrupt my disruption of my circadian rhythm.
So this will help?
I'd like to have a circadian rhythm.
This should maybe be a poll for Friday. Oh, I'm not going to be here Friday. Thursday. Do you like the time change? Because I do.
Oh, same.
And I am the only. You like it?
Oh, yeah.
We are the only two.
29 states are considering getting rid of it.
Do it or don't. Everybody or none of them.
Yep.
Well, it's a lot of them. I mean, 29. Illinois is on the list, and so is Missouri.
29 isn't all of them.
No, but there are already 2 states, Hawaii and Arizona, that do it.
Listen, I already juggle time zones when I'm booking guests. The last thing I need to do is juggle time zones about when I need to be at work.
Oh, gosh, no. No.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it needs to be everybody or nobody. And this is enough states, though, that make me think that if they all did it, everybody would do it.
Do you hate it?
I would like to try it without it because
No. Sunday when it goes.
Oh, I love fall back. It's the spring forward I hate.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Makes me happy. What doesn't make me happy is the economy. Let's talk to Steve more about it when we come back. Don't go away.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Imagine snuggling up on the floor. It's cold outside, but it's warm in house, and you are on the brand new Mohawk Silk Smart Strand carpeting in your house for Christmas. I think that there are a lot of people, if you're like my husband and I, who buy ourselves home improvement things, bigger ticket items, and you say, let's do this for each other for Christmas. And so then you get like a couch or maybe new flooring, and you invest in your home for each other for Christmas. Maybe flooring is on your radar. Michael's Flooring Outlet is there to make sure that your needs are met, that your budget is respected, and that the value and quality that you want to have without sacrificing one over the other is met. Michael's Flooring Outlet will do that for you. They've got 3 different locations, so if you want to start the process now, as we are very close to November here, to make sure that you know what you want to invest in, check them out in St. Charles County, in West County, also in Darien Prairie. But you can go online right now to igotfloor.com and request an estimate to get your project finished. Go to igotfloor.com.
It's obvious the unthinkable is happening. With all the recent media distractions, most folks never saw it coming. But a few did. Their guts told them something very wrong was going on. And now the headlines are proving them right. The people in charge keep telling you that everything's fine and to stop noticing. But you know better. Folks are investing in emergency food storage, and you should too. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, are the ones you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells biomass stoves, off-grid room heaters for when the power goes out, gravity-powered water filters, heirloom seeds, and survival gear that may come in handy soon. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Israel's prime minister calls it a turning point. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
It is time for all of us to decide if we are willing to fight for a future of hope and promise, or surrender to tyranny and terror.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking a short time ago.
The horrors that Hamas perpetrated on October 7th remind us that we will not realize the promise of a better future unless we, the civilized world, are willing to fight the barbarians. Because the barbarians are willing to fight us.
Facing calls for a humanitarian pause as Israel's ground operation expands in Gaza, Netanyahu says Israel is going out of its way to avoid civilian casualties and that Hamas commits a double war crime, attacking Israeli civilians while using Palestinian civilians as human shields. The health ministry in Gaza reports more than 8,000 Palestinians killed. The FBI investigating a threat posted online against Jewish students at Cornell University as a possible hate crime. This as the Biden administration takes steps to address a rise in anti-Semitic incidents at schools.
Jewish leaders are meeting with top administration officials, including Education Secretary Miguel Cardona and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff, to discuss an alarming uptick in reported incidents of anti-Semitism on college campuses. The administration says since the Hamas terror attacks in Israel on October 7th, both the Department of Homeland Security and the Justice Department took steps to ensure campus law enforcement is included in briefings with state and local police.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The Education Secretary is scheduled to meet with Jewish students on a college campus later this week. President Biden about to unveil a new executive order aimed at protecting Americans from the potential risks of artificial intelligence, in part by requiring developers of AI to share safety results with the government. America is listening to Fox News.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just 1 pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
At SimpliSafe, our award-winning home security has advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 LiveGuard protection. Only from SimpliSafe. Monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Now get 45% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of sunshine out there as we go through our Monday afternoon, but boy, you need to bundle up. 45 for the high. Tonight, clear and cold down to 26. Halloween on Tuesday. During the day, sunny, windy, and cold. Only 42 for the high. Wind chills in the 20s at times. Trick-or-treat time. Winds die down 36 to 39 degrees and eventually going down to 22 degrees Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
MySlim180.com is the website where you can go and learn about how you can drop weight, get healthy, and do it with the fine counselors and programs at Slim 180. Make sure that you check out their BBB rating. I know that this is important for people. Is this legit? Does it really help people lose weight? It's helped me lose weight. Every time I had a baby, going to do the HCG drops program or the injection program, which is what I did, helped me drop weight that I couldn't lose otherwise. Now they've advanced and they even have the semaglutide and the tirzepatide, which can also really greatly impact you and your ability to pursue a healthier version of you when you drop the weight. You can lose up to 20 pounds in as little as 6 weeks, looking great in those holiday photos and feeling healthy and having the energy that you need for this busy season. You can get that at Slim 180. Go online to myslim180.com, register for a free consultation, and make sure that when you talk to them, you don't have to sign up for anything. The consultation is free. You don't have to sign up, but listen to how they can help you lose weight. I stand by their ability to help you, and when you mention my name, you're going to save 20% off of some of their programs that they have there, the nutritional guidance program, the Crave, or the Regenerate Weight Loss program. Also, they can accept FSA and HSA payments. Go sign up now. Go online to myslim180.com.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-238-7360.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I think it was Thursday or Friday we were trying to get Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg on the show, and we looked up at that exact time, and he was on Fox News. Well, he is actually going to join us today, actually in just a couple minutes here at 1:25. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration, on the Annie Frey Show. Also, the YouTube live chat poll of the day: is Gavin Newsom running for president? Yes or no? Let us know what you think. It's the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. It is 1:06. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Selling your home? Every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out the only agents I trust. Go to thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
We came into office during the height of a pandemic, record unemployment. And because of our economic policies, we now are reducing inflation. We have created over 14 million new jobs. We've created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. Wages are up. And so we've seen great progress.
Man, I kind of have a policy of not playing her on my show because I can't handle it. But she's trying to show you, everybody pay attention. They inherited a mess. And there were many people who were not working, and they brought all those jobs back. I feel as though she selected a few details to highlight, maybe left a few on the drawing room table there. Let's talk to our friend Stephen Moore about it, distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation, author of Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. Steve, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Eddie, good to be with you.
Good to be with you as well. And Kamala Harris says it's good to be with her in the Biden administration because everything out there is rosy. What do you say to her perspective there on the economy?
Well, we got a really blockbuster GDP number for the third quarter, so that's really good news. The economy grew, between 4% and 5%. That's a really strong number. That's the good news. The bad news is that a lot of that growth, Annie, was in government, because we count government spending as part of GDP. So the more the government spends, the more the GDP goes up. The more the government borrows, the more GDP goes up. So, that's a worrisome sign. But we did see a pickup in private sector hiring and things like that. So that's good news. About 80 to 90% of the jobs that Kamala Harris was talking about are just jobs that came back after COVID, after we reopened our businesses. So that's not new job creation. It's just, the government finally said you can open up your doors again. I'm really worried about a couple of things going forward. I think the amount of debt that the government is taking on. So, for example, this is October 30th. Tomorrow is Halloween. By the way, what are you going to be for Halloween?
My kids are being an array of Winnie the Pooh characters, so I'm going to be Christopher Robin's mom, maybe.
I love it.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see in New Jersey they want to cancel Halloween because it doesn't meet with their diversity, inclusion, and equity
unbelievable
standards. Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, back to the subject of the economy.
The left hates fun. That's what it is.
Yeah, right. They do.
They're
gonna cancel Halloween. I mean Thanksgiving, and then of course we can have Christmas. No, we can't have that. And the 4th of July. How could we possibly celebrate this country, this terrible country of ours, right? By the way, I'm not exaggerating. That's the way these people think. So, but back to the economy, we have a lot of debt out there. We have a lot of consumer debt. We have a lot of government debt. And it just feels to me, and I hope I'm wrong about this, that, it's like when you have a birthday party for your kids, this, Annie, and you blow up the balloons and you keep blowing and blowing and blowing. If you keep blowing on them, they're going to burst.
Yeah.
And so we keep filling this economy with so much debt. I'm nervous about that. I think most Americans, every poll shows 70% of Americans are really nervous about this economy. It just doesn't feel right. It's like, if you're partying, but you've got termites in your basement, oh, gee, things are going so well. And then the structure collapses.
Yeah, it's a problem. I'm reading from foxbusiness.com. Their headline says slowing economy presenting more challenges. It talks about the third quarter GDP jumping to 4.9%, expecting to retreat to 1.5% in fourth quarter. It seems like a roller coaster ride. And while people are amassing credit card debt to try to make ends meet when, the grocery bill is still going up and up and up, what's your advice for Americans right now and voters to be paying attention to fortify their own personal economies while the big one is still in question?
Yeah, I've been asked that question a lot lately. So my first answer to what you do about your own personal financial situation is stop borrowing so much money. We're way living beyond what we can afford as both a nation and households are doing that too. And what worries me is that those interest rates are skyrocketing. Credit card debt, you can pay 25% rate on interest on that. And so when you have $1.1 trillion of consumer credit card debt, that makes me really nervous. So, folks, maybe tighten the belt a little bit, suck in the stomach a little bit. What we're trying to do that at our house, because we're feeling the pinch of this high inflation. And I don't know if pinch or squeeze is the right word, but, I mentioned to you last week that I went to the grocery store with my wife because she said, Steve, you have no idea what things cost because she buys most of the stuff. And I was shocked. She was right. I was completely shocked. $6 for a pound of ground beef, $9 for a box of Cheerios, a dozen eggs, $3 or $4. I mean, it's just incredible to me how much things cost. That's what and then of course on the federal level, what we have to do is just, take a hatchet or a chainsaw out of the budget and really start controlling. My view on this, Annie, I think we mentioned this last week, is if they're going to try to spend $100 billion, which we don't have on all these foreign aid programs, then at the very least, every penny of that should be paid for by cutting other programs, don't you think?
Yeah, find the money. If it's
find it.
You just have to prioritize. You can't manifest money into
They never
existence.
do that. That's a good word, prioritize. That's what a house does. That's what a business does. What's the most important things we spend money on? In Washington, it's like it doesn't matter if it's important or not important. There's $300 billion in green energy subsidies. Okay, maybe we can stop with the green energy stuff right now for a little while while we try to restore our economy and use that money that was going for windmills to helping some of these other countries. I'm tired of the United States being the policeman of the world, but if we are going to provide aid, then it has to come out. And the other thing is, look, if we're going to provide that aid, Republicans say we're only going to approve this if you're willing to, allow America to help itself by increasing our oil and gas output. Stop the war on American energy, Joe Biden.
Right. I was going to ask you that question before you kind of highlighted it there. But, the number one day one effort from the Biden administration was to shut down that Keystone pipeline. If Joe Biden decided to completely do a 180 on this and be all about American energy, how would that affect the overall economy?
No, gigantically. I mean, we were energy dominant country in the world when Trump left office. I worked with him on energy policy. That was the goal, and we achieved it. We were a net exporter of oil. We were driving down the price of oil because when you produce more of something, its price goes down. So do you remember the days of $2.29 a gallon gas?
Yes. I long for those days.
Yeah. So we've got this incredible, we've seen about a 50% increase in gas prices. And it's so we could get back to that, and that would mean less money for Hamas, less money for Putin, less money for the OPEC countries, less money. By the way, can you explain to me why Biden's saying we're going to purchase new oil from Venezuela, but we won't let it be produced in Texas?
No, I can't explain. No, I can't.
I would. Somebody explain that one to me, because it makes no sense to me from both an economic or a national security standpoint.
Steve, when you are watching what Congress is going to do now that we have a Speaker of the House and they can get back to the business of the people, I hear you talk and read the reports all the time about, the Fed is doing this and these guys are doing that. They're always pulling strings and trying to manipulate the economy into a direction like a herding dog to try to make it get back on track. In your opinion, do the people, the powers that be, need to do more? Or do they need to do less?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Regulations, the Fed, the decisions that are in their power to manipulate where the economy is headed.
I was speaking at a big something called the Money Conference this weekend in Orlando, and about 800 people there. And I started because a couple of speakers who preceded me were talking about the incredible revolution that's coming with artificial intelligence and robotics and all sorts of new, cures for all sorts of diseases are coming down the pike. I mean, it's very exciting. This is a very exciting time to be alive. It's like the internet revolution times 3 that we're going to see over the next 25 years. And the first thing I said is, all we need for this to happen is to get the government the heck out of the way.
Yeah. The regulatory measures seem to confine quite a bit the American people and American innovation. Last thing before we let you go, we're speaking with Steve Moore at the Heritage Foundation. Congress is going to need to pass a budget here. What are your expectations, and have you been able to pressure them in a direction at all to do what's right by the American people?
We're not going to see cuts this year, unfortunately. We're just not. There's no appetite. None of the Democrats want to do that. No, only some of the Republicans want to do it. So I think the best we can hold out for is just spend as much money this year as you did last year. Is that asking so much? just cap it at $6 trillion. Don't go to $7 trillion.
Yeah. I would say it might not be asking enough, but you got to get what you can get,
I
suppose.
I mean, that's at least a start. Come on. We've been on the biggest spending binge in the history of this country in the last 3 years. Maybe now we could take a pause.
I would agree with that. Steve, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you and encourage people to sign up for your hotline. I read it and I enjoy it. I learn something every day.
Awesome. Committee to Unleash Prosperity.com.
Sounds
Sign
great.
up. It's free.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye.
Bye-bye. He's a distinguished fellow in economics at Heritage Foundation, and that hotline that he does put out every day is a really good footing for what's going on in the economy. You can check it out there. Also, his book, Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, is going to be with us when we come back, and I'm going to ask him some of these questions that we've been discussing. My emotional response to what's going on in the world is just my perspective on it, and I don't obviously, you know this, have some semblance of foreign policy expertise. I'm interested and I care, which is, I guess, a start, but that's probably where you are as well. And I'm not looking into what's going on overseas and looking for more, and I don't want 1 inch of aggression more than is necessary, but I don't want 1 inch less either. So where is America in this? What kind of aggressive assistance do we need to provide? What kind of space do we need to give to Israel while they defend their right to exist? That is where this is at this moment. And all eyes should be on what's going on in the Middle East and how America presents itself in this moment. The YouTube live chat poll for today, which may or may not be related to that conversation, is Gavin Newsom running for president? Yes or no? If you haven't seen the latest Gavin Newsom video on the internet, it is something to behold. Now, I know that we make jokes about how Gavin Newsom is buddy-buddy with the Chinese, and he goes over there and it's like you kind of have like a little China over there on the West Coast, and California is not really looking like the land of the free, and people are fleeing from California to go to more liberty-loving states all the time. But Gavin Newsom has taken his relationship with China to a new level by trucking over one of their children on a basketball court in a pickup basketball game. Here you have this. I'm going to say 2 things about Gavin Newsom in this video. 1, what the hell were you thinking? And 2, any adult who has played sports before knows what it's like to get a little carried away. The idea is don't do it on foreign soil to their children. What are you doing? He goes like behind the back and he goes to make a spin move, and he's playing on a pickup playground outside a basketball hoop with these adorable Chinese children, and he trips and he falls over and he smokes one of these kids, and then they like land on the ground and he's like wrestling with this child like, oh, hey, that was funny, wasn't it? Would somebody please say that was funny? Oh my gosh. I don't want to like make fun of it too much because we will all have our embarrassing moments, but that was definitely one of them for Gavin Newsom. Did you see that video?
Oh yeah. Oh man, so much like just cringe. You watch it and you're like,
oh, like I don't even want that for Gavin Newsom.
It didn't even start off good with him trying to spin the ball on his finger.
What are you doing, dude? Just be a governor. You're real good at it. It was not good. Did I retweet it? I don't know. I think I retweeted. Yeah, I retweeted it today because Dave Portnoy wrote. I wasn't gonna retweet it because I kind of. It's not here or there when it comes to politics. He tripped. He fell. It was unfortunate. I feel bad for the kid. I do actually have sympathy for Gavin Newsom in that moment because that's just not anything that anybody wants to experience. But then Dave Portnoy goes and tweets about it, and it's pretty funny. So you can go check the Annie Frey Show Twitter for that and cringe along with the rest of us. Let's talk to Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, the former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration. When we come back, don't go away.
I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Like an eagle till I'm free. I go through the revolution. Feed the babies who don't have enough to eat. Shoot the children with no shoes on their feet. How's the people
Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
living in the street? Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle.
Have you been looking to purchase a home and you haven't found the one out there on the market that is for you? I want you to check out cajonesinc.com because they have active, available, brand new home inventory for you to shop. cajonesinc.com. That's cajonesinc.com. They are there to make it super handy and simple to get into a brand new home and to navigate this crazy market to make sure that the one you have is the one you want. Now, if you're looking to build a home on the Illinois side of the river, C.A. Jones has got you covered. They offer a 10-year builder limited warranty that includes a lifetime waterproof basement warranty. So you're going to have the confidence that when you go and build with C.A. Jones, that you're going to have a strong, steady, sturdy home. I have been in multiple C.A. Jones homes, and the customizations that you can make and the modern nature with which they build their homes that still has that kind of traditional effect that I really like. All of the different options that are available for you to choose to personalize it yourself, C.A. Jones has got you covered. They are energy certified home builder offering the top energy efficient homes in the Metro East, which will save you thousands of dollars annually as well. If you're in the market for a home and you want a new build, they've got inventory on their website. But if you're looking to build on the Illinois side of the river, start your search with cajonesinc.com.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
When it comes to finding the perfect grill, family-owned and operated Cotton's Ace Hardware has you covered. Get free delivery and free fuel on any grills over $300 and free assembly and haul away of your old grills with the purchase of a new one. With a selection from Weber to Traeger and your local retailer of the Big Green Egg, Cotton's Ace Hardware makes it easier than ever to replace your old grill. Let Cotton's Ace Hardware make your family barbecue more enjoyable with that one-of-a-kind grill you've been looking for. Find your nearest St. Louis area location at cottonsacehardware.com.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today. sidingexpress.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Kristen, I just think we have to recognize that this is a double standard. The United States rightly called out Russia for its siege of Ukraine, rightly called out the attacks on the power infrastructure, the refusal to provide food and water and fuel to the Ukrainians. And we have to recognize that our credibility and our authority on the moral stage is greatly diminished if we do not also call out these this siege that Israel is launching on Gaza as violations of international law. We are losing credibility, and frankly, we're being isolated.
So Congresswoman Jayapal from Washington is comparing Israel's response to Hamas to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And America has involvement in both of those. Is there hypocrisy taking place right now? What is Congresswoman Jayapal talking about? What is the American involvement in either of these, and how are they similar and how are they different? We are welcomed now by Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. He's retired. He's the former National Security Advisor for the Trump administration and the co-chair for the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. Lieutenant General, thank you for being here today with us. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, Annie, thanks for having me. You know, this is going to sound pretty harsh, and I mean it that way. I'm almost, sometimes when I listen to what people like the Congresswoman said, it's almost like seeing the movie Dumb and Dumber again. I mean, it's absolutely astounding to me that people make comments like that when you've got to go back to the simple fact, which happened in Israel, that it was an attack into Israel out of Gaza. The Israelis have been out of Gaza for years. In fact, Ariel Sharon, who's the prime minister, basically took settlements out of there. They walled it off, said it's over to you. So they haven't been in Gaza, and that was an attack that came out of Gaza. And there's a moral certitude issue that when you look at what they were doing, which was to very clearly kill unarmed civilians in numbers that were astounding, let's say rounded up to 1,500, that's the equivalence of us losing somewhere in the range of 25 to 30,000 here in America. And in 1945, we fought a war, ended a war, that said, never again. Well, if we really believe never again, you're seeing that now. In fact, when you look, I just talked to Ambassador David Freeman just recently, earlier today, and he said the same thing. He's, look, if we talked about never again, see what's the attack on the Jewish state, then do we mean it or not? And I'm stunned that people kind of say that, oh, it's really unfortunate, but it's blame the Israelis. No. And then the fact that we, the United States government, is pushing the Israelis not to make sure they follow the rules of the land warfare. Well, they are. You know, Hamas is building their command and control structure underneath hospitals. Well, there's a reason they're doing that. They know that the Israelis will follow the law of land warfare. And then when you see something, it's not quite the same, but something similar happening in Ukraine with Russia, the difference on that is they're not trying to exterminate a population, which Hamas is. That's, oh, by the way, that's written down in their charter. But what the Russians are trying to do is basically take Ukraine as a nation, as a land. But they're undergoing through the same activities. What it comes down to is a style of leadership of both, which is authoritarian and really has no regard for human life. And that's the reason why the Russians target civilians quite heavily in Ukraine. So there's two major wars going on right now, Annie. One in Europe and one in the Mediterranean region in the Middle East. And both of them are rather significant. I think the biggest one that President Biden's got on his plate right now happens to be the one in the Middle East, because that's the one that'll spin out of control really fast on him. Yeah. The other one won't. It can go bad, but the one in the Middle East, if something happens with Iran or any of the other countries, that's the one we'll really have to reckon with, and it'll be the hard one.
We're speaking with retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, and we're discussing the issues in the Middle East. And when I listen to Congresswoman Jayapal, it seems as though there are varying degrees on the other side of the aisle. There's the completely pro-Israel, the Jewish people should exist, essentially, side of this. And the other side, which some people are just outright with their blind hatred, but other people are trying to say this is complicated. There's Hamas, but there's Palestine or Palestinians or whatever the word is that needs to be used about these people who are not Jewish people in Israel. They're in Gaza or wherever. And we see a lot of these photographs about what's going on in Gaza and what Israel is doing to the Palestinian civilians in Gaza. In your experience with war and battle and combat, what do you want to say to the civilians here in America about what they're going to see in the midst of this war?
Yeah, Annie, well, this is the reason why you don't go to war. I mean, the scenes are going to be horrific, but that's how wars are. Even it's how we as Americans have conducted war. It goes back to the Civil War when U.S. Grant sent Sherman on his march to the sea, and he burned the city of Atlanta to the ground. It's like in World War II when we bombed the city of Dresden to the ground. This is how wars are fought, and they're ugly, and it's the reason why soldiers don't want to get involved in wars unless they really have to. But once this war started, and this was started by Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, which said very clear it's in their charter to eradicate Israel and the Jewish population there. This is genocide, and they're willing to do that. And that's where you have to make the choice, and it's a hard choice. But that's also the reason why, unfortunately, wars are fought, and they're never designed to be pretty. They will try to make as many adjustments as they can to protect the civilian population. But remember, Hamas has let the people in Gaza go south. There were two different safe routes for them to go, and there's a safe area down there. But I think the Hamas wants to hold the civilians in place to get the maximum amount of visibility that you're going to see with some horrific scenes. And I've said that the last couple of weeks when I've been on other interviews on television stations, where you're going to have to accept this fact that this is the way it is. You may not like it, but that's how wars are fought. And I would just tell everybody to kind of understand what's happening writ large, the whole thing. This is an existential fight for Israel. They've said it quite clearly. Netanyahu said it today in his press conference, and we have to understand that. And it's not, as I said, no, I'm repeating myself, but it's not going to be pretty. Yeah. It's going to be pretty ugly, but that's how wars are fought.
Lieutenant General Kellogg, when I'm watching as somebody who does not have the foreign policy expertise, and that's why we're so grateful for your time here, because you get to answer questions that a lot of people have. We've seen that, I think it was maybe 800, 900 troops were sent to the Middle East. They didn't tell us specifically where, which is a smart decision. We see ships being strategically positioned in the region. America seems to be ready to answer the call in a pretty aggressive way in waiting. What is America's active position in the conflict in the Middle East right now?
Yeah, Annie, what I think you're seeing is the reason why we're kind of loading up with the Ford Carrier Strike Group and also the Eisenhower Strike Group that's coming in, and then we're moving in Amphibious Ready Group, the Bataan, with over 2,000 Marines into the region as well. This is a signal to Iran. This is where we're telling Iran, well, hopefully we're not only telling them, we're showing them that we have the capacity and the capability and hopefully the will to strike Iran if necessary. And the reason I'm saying Iran, because the nation that has their hand on the terrorism tiller there in the Middle East is Iran. So they're they're supporting Hamas, but more importantly, they're supporting Hezbollah to the north, which is much more capable terrorist type of organization. And they're supporting through what's called the Quds Force. So this is us telling Iran, don't go there. Don't make this a two-front war for Israel. And if you do, we're going to respond. But then, fortunately, I'm not too sure if the Iranians are listening. And the reason I'm saying that, since 17 October, since the 17th, there's been 23 different attacks on American forces and installations there in the Middle East. Well, we know they're done by Iranian proxy forces. We know that. We know that Iran's behind them through the Quds Force training them. And we haven't done anything. So I don't know how this warning is going to play out. That's the reason the forces are there, to be used in case the President of the United States, under his role under Section 2, Article 2 of the Constitution, Commander-in-Chief, if he decides to use it. You know, in our administration, you know, President Trump was not afraid to use the hockey term, to drop gloves and fight if necessary to protect American interest. I'm not convinced this administration will. They responded recently with 2 F-16s that bombed basically an abandoned storage depot, and nobody was killed. This is the time you need to make a stand and make your position known. So is the capability there? Yes. Is the will to execute and use that capability? I don't know. I'm concerned that it is not.
Before we let you go, because we have limited time with you and we're grateful for it, we're speaking with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, retired Lieutenant General. I am curious, you can answer this however you choose, but I'm wondering what your greatest fear is about where we are and what your best hope is for where we could be.
Yeah, my greatest fear is a lack of will of the President of the United States to protect Americans and American interests abroad. That's my biggest fear. That's what keeps me up at night. And that's important because you've got to send a clear message that we are not to be trifled with. Otherwise, more things are going to go bad. And my hope is that he does find the will to be able to react if something bad really happens. And I'll define bad as having an American killed. We've already lost 33 Americans to Hamas. But now if something else happens after the warnings, we should be able to respond. And that's where I hope he goes, the president, but it's going to be up to him. He's the commander-in-chief.
Do you have hope that this administration could do an about-face and do what they need to do to get it right this time?
No, I don't, Annie. Their track record is not good, and the president's track record is not good. Remember, this is the same individual, President Biden, who former Secretary of Gates, Secretary of Defense, and Director of the CIA, said he's been wrong on nearly every national security decision in the last 40 years. Remember when President Obama went after Osama bin Laden, the one individual in the Situation Room that said don't go was his Vice President, Joe Biden. There's a track record here, and that's my concern.
Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, former National Security Advisor to Trump administration and co-chair for the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. We are incredibly grateful for your time. Thank you for being here with us.
Thanks, Annie. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you as well. Bye-bye. That's heavy. Follow him on Twitter at General Kellogg, 2 L's, 2 G's, and say a prayer. If you're a praying person, insert prayer here now. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
TheDiamondShop.net. Have you gone to visit the Diamond Shop yet in Clayton? They've been in St. Louis since 1910. And you don't have that kind of success for over a century without knowing how to treat people right. When someone is looking for a piece of jewelry, maybe you're not looking to buy anything, but you've got an heirloom and it needs to be fixed. You inherited a watch and it doesn't work. You need a battery replaced and maybe some tweaks made to it. You go find somebody who is going to care for that thing that to you is priceless. When you go to the Diamond Shop, you found those people. If you go online to thediamondshop.net, you can sign up to become a VIP. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. But you'll get alerted to great opportunities to save money on purchases if that's what you are looking for. And right now, you can still squeak it in because all October, which is today and tomorrow, 50% off all diamond studs. And when you are looking for a beautiful gift for somebody, is going to brighten that smile when they open it up and they see those diamond stud earrings. That's the thing you're looking for. I can tell you that right now. They're going to help you navigate purchasing something, whether it's for yourself, making sure that you're getting good value for your hard-earned dollar, but also making sure that you're cared for. They do buy gold, they do jewelry repair, and they can appraise for you. So if you're looking for somebody in the business that is going to be your person in the business, go to where the Frey people in the business are. That's the Diamond Shop. You can find them online at thediamondshop.net.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
The Capitol Grill is effortlessly arranged and customized for you. Whether it's a private room, an elegant table setting, dry-aged steaks paired with world-class wines, or an intimate party or business reception, make this part of your memorable private dining experience this holiday season. Every private dining room is elegantly appointed and offers seating capacities that range from 12 to 60. For reservations, call the Capitol Grill in Clayton today, 314-725-0930, or visit thecapitolgrill.com.
Today is October 30th. The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll is Gavin Newsom running for president? Yes or no? Let us know what you think and why. You can leave a comment there. We'll read those back. 1:45 right now. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Fact-checking the fact-checkers daily. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. So show me family, all the blood that I will bleed. I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong. But I can write a song. I belong.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. The YouTube live chat poll for today is Gavin Newsom running for president, yes or no? I think he's running to be the starting forward for the Los Angeles Sparks.
Los Angeles Sparks.
Which I had to Google.
Yeah.
It's the WNBA team in California.
I see.
Did you see Clay Travis throwing down about the WNBA?
Yes.
I want to talk about this for a second.
Okay.
I should pull up the actual tweet because this is just something. This is something. Clay Travis, he is I don't know if he owns Outkick because Fox News owns it now, but he's like the chief dude at Outkick. And he got into a spat. I always wonder, like, how does one find themselves in one of these spats, specifically so that I can avoid them? But he's talking about how a varsity level basketball team, high school team, boys varsity level basketball team would fare against specifically, well, it was a WNBA team. Hold on a second. So this is the tweet from Clay Travis. I put $1 million on the line, your WNBA champion team against a 2024 high school boys state champion team of my choice. You guys win. You get $1 million of my money. My team wins. You all pay me $1 million, and I give it to the boys high school team. You in? And I don't think that the WNBA has commented yet.
I hope
followed
they do.
He followed up. This, by the way, would probably be the most watched WNBA game of all time. Check. I believe that. Ball's in your court. Lots of boys state champion teams would love to compete for this money. My $1 million is out there. Put your money where your mouth is and prove I'm wrong and make $1 million in the process. He later on, like as this continued to grow in attention, it's got over 24,000 likes, about 3,500 retweets, about 2,000 comments. Lots of people are like, courtside, give me tickets.
Yeah.
I don't care what they cost. I want to be there. And then other people, he ended up saying, like, let's make it pay-per-view. Let's raise some money for something. Let's raise it for the winner. If you take, there are people who are like, you're underestimating the ability of these WNBA teams to shoot. You might be underestimating the ability of them to shoot, but they have to get open.
Yeah.
You might be able to hit a shot from anywhere.
Yeah.
But you have to be open. And the physicality of 17 and 18-year-old boys versus grown women, still. I fear that it would be a bloodbath that the WNBA team would lose. And if the WNBA team would lose that, what does that mean for women's sports? Here's what it means for women's sports. Women should be competing with women. You are not, as a female athlete, competing in a sport so you can prove where you rank with men. You're just not. You're competing to see where you rank with your peers, which is biological women. And it is a really, really sad state of affairs that we would be pushing to make a point about the validity or the necessity or the benefit to girls about what it means to participate in sports based on how they would fare against men. Because a varsity basketball team of the state championship caliber is going to have men on it. This is what the entire gender non-binary thing has done to women's sports, which is to prove that they are worth time. Because does the idea that a varsity level state championship men's, boys, whatever basketball team, if it beats the champion WNBA team, the question is, what does it prove? What doesn't it prove? I assume it's going to prove something about genetics and biology. But genetics and biology could be proven in one way, shape, or form, and we could still see the value of having the WNBA. If it's a lucrative business, I played basketball through my senior year of high school. I was the MVP of our basketball team. I think we were a dominating 10-15. And I loved it. It was a part of my identity as a 17-year-old girl through my childhood. There's no part of that ever needed to beat a boy to make it worthwhile for my time. We can't have it both ways. We can't say that girls' sports is important. We cannot say that girls' sports is valuable, is a necessary building tool for girls to participate in if that's what their talent is in, and learn how to be a teammate, and learn how to struggle, learn how to fail so you can learn how to succeed. Be willing to fail so you can find out the joy of succeeding. You can't apply all of those things and say we need to protect this for our girls and at the same time say, but boys can play with them. You can't do it. And that's what this postmodern anti-feminism movement is really about. I am so offended that they turned me into a feminist. Boo on that crap. I didn't want to be a feminist, but here I am being some sort of feminist that is like from my foremothers, which is a new word to me, trying to say that we deserve our chance to play on the court and compete. And because we want to throw everything gender out the window now, we don't get to have that conversation because we got to compare boys and girls on the same court. And some people want to say it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. You put a state championship boys basketball varsity team up against a girls WNBA championship team, women's, the women are going to get smoked. Do you disagree with that at all?
No, actually, it popped up a story in my mind. The United States women's national team, the best soccer team in the world, played Dallas.
Yeah, we hear a lot from them.
Just ask them. They played Dallas FC. This is in 2017, so this is when they were peak. They played Dallas FC's U15 boys team as a warm-up to play a match against Russia.
Professional women's soccer team, Olympic caliber players, grown women, peak, top, best you can get.
The best in the world.
Played a 15-year-old club team.
From so St. Louis City has a U15 team where it's a developmental team for their professional team. They got beat. The women got beat 5-2 by 15-year-old and under boys.
It would be a mess.
It wouldn't even be close.
No,
because O'Fallon played in the state championship. I don't remember how many years ago, but one of the guys on the other team that O'Fallon played was Derrick Rose. 2 years after that, and the only reason it was 2 years after that, Derrick Rose was in the NBA. The only reason it was 2 years after that was because the NBA says you have to go to college for 1 year. So Derrick Rose went to Memphis for 1 year to play college ball, and then he was in the NBA. Kobe Bryant played high school and then the NBA. Allen Iverson played high school and then the NBA. And they weren't just in the NBA, they were dominant. It wouldn't be a close game. It wouldn't be close.
It's very frustrating as a former female athlete myself. Maybe I'm still a female athlete. I don't know. Definitely still a female. But as the mom of 3 girls, my oldest of which is a very good athlete. You've seen her play. She at 11 years old.
Yeah, she is fantastic.
She knows what she's doing.
Yes.
And she works hard at it. It is so disgusting to see how this gender bending or gender fluid culture is going to ultimately diminish what girls can do in sports. It is the most anti-feminism thing I can think of. And it's weird that Clay Travis offering up $1 million, which the WNBA would be so stupid to take, but I hope they do. It's weird how having boys beat these girls is actually going to determine once again that there is a difference between boys and girls on the court, and it matters in the pool, and it matters on the track, and it matters. Very frustrating. I don't even remember what we started talking that conversation. Oh, I was talking about Gavin Newsom playing for the Who was it? The Stars?
Sparks.
God dang it, I got to Google it again. This is how much I know about the WNBA. Let's talk more about it when we come back. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisor Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. I have many female clients and widows that don't fully understand their investment choices. Would you like a retirement review and a second opinion on your current retirement plan? Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying, and would you like to learn how you can avoid those fees? Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees for the past 37 years. Let our family help your family. So go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
I practice what I preach. I don't just talk about Fountains Family Dentistry. I go there and I talk about how easy it is to get an appointment with them. And guess what? I actually had to cancel my last appointment with them a couple weeks ago. I found myself over the weekend in the hospital for a lung infection, and I had to cancel. So they were very, very nice working with me. They know you have a life. So they know that things come up and that life gets in the way at times, and they still will work with you as they're working with me to get me in before the end of the year. This is the time, if you are looking to use those benefits, make your appointment now for any time between now and December 31st. Incidentally, if you have new benefits starting January 1st, it's a great time to instigate those, get those going, and make an appointment with Fountains Family Dentistry right now in January. Either or, give them a call, 618-622-1800. Their phone number is 618-622-1800. East side, so right side of the river, fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
They don't feel safe at college. Elisa Brady, Fox News.
Fear feels like walking on my campus and feeling like many people just want me to die.
She's one of the Jewish students urging Columbia University in New York to do more to address rising incidents of anti-Semitism as pro-Palestinian rallies are held on campuses around the country. The FBI is investigating threats posted online against Jewish students at Cornell University.
The threats found on a social site not connected to the Ithaca, New York college called for physical and potentially deadly violence and singled out 104 West, where the school's Center for Jewish Living is located. People on campus are being told to avoid that building for safety reasons. Cornell's president, Martha Pollack, in a statement said the threats are intolerable and the intent is to arrest and punish those responsible.
Fox's Gernal Scott, a Cornell professor, was recently forced to take a leave of absence after describing the Hamas attack on Israel as exhilarating. Israel expanding its ground operation in Gaza as Prime Minister Netanyahu rejects calls for a ceasefire.
In fighting Hamas and the Iranian axis of terror, Israel is fighting the enemies of civilization itself. Victory over these enemies begins with moral clarity.
He blames civilian casualties in Gaza on Hamas for using civilians as human shields. President Biden is calling tentative deals to end an auto worker strike historic. GM, the last of the big three to reach a deal, with the UAW using agreements with Ford and Stellantis as a template.
Securing for members a 25% pay raise over the 4 years of the contract, cost of living adjustments, a quicker pathway to the top pay tier, and the right to strike over future plant closures.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble, details of the GM deal not yet known, and all of this still needs union votes. America's listening to Fox News.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
At SimpliSafe, our 24/7 lifeguard protection helps stop crime in real time. Because during a break-in, every second counts. And these days, every dollar counts. Right now, get 45% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. It's U.S. News and World Report's best home security of 2023. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Lots of sunshine out there as we go through our Monday afternoon, but boy, you need to bundle up. 45 for the high. Tonight, clear and cold down to 26. Halloween on Tuesday. During the day, sunny, windy, and cold. Only 42 for the high. Wind chills in the 20s at times. Trick-or-treat time. Winds die down 36 to 39 degrees and eventually going down to 22 degrees Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I know it's the 30th of October, but it really feels like we've turned the corner and we're looking at Christmas and the end of the year now. I'm looking at Andrea's Steakhouse website right now. They've been family-owned and operated since 1978. I talk about their sauces all the time. Their steak sauce is world-renowned, locally famous, locally made. And so is their new barbecue sauce and their salad dressing. But this is the time of year to really look ahead to making your Christmas parties. And maybe Andrea's Steakhouse is the place that you want to do that this year. You will not be disappointed in the meal or the experience. I talk about the food a lot, but the experience itself is wonderful. This isn't some, box store or some strip mall store that happened to throw up a restaurant in there. This is a cottage on a grassy knoll. I mean, it is a real experience to walk up to Andrea's Steakhouse and even walk in the doors. It's that neat. Really invite you to check them out. They're in Fairview Heights, Illinois. And if you want to look ahead of time and maybe order some sauce ahead of time, you can go to andreas.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AA MCO.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Some parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer, and some need the closeness and comfort of Gillette Intimate Razor, while others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. After Halloween, your used jack-o'-lantern and other gourds are great additions to any compost pile. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. It's all here on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Are you expecting to subpoena Hunter Biden?
I'm looking at that. I think that desperate times call for desperate measures, and that perhaps is overdue. We've not made a full decision yet. I'm counseling with the attorneys involved on all of this to see what the contours of. I'm an attorney myself, so I speak the language. We're trying to move forward on some of this very aggressively. I think the American people are owed these answers, and I think our suspicions about all this, the evidence that we've gathered so far, as you know, is affirming what many of us feared may be the worst. And, as Jamie Comer likes to say, bank records don't lie. We already have a lot of this evidence. The dots are being connected, and we'll see where it leads.
So there you have Speaker Mike Johnson talking to Maria Bartiromo about the subpoena for Hunter Biden. Wasn't that one of the Gates demands?
I think it was.
Isn't that part of the frustration that existed there? He was also talking about the different chairmen of the committees.
I think our chairmen have done an exceptional job. You've spoken to all of them, Jamie Comer and Jim Jordan and Jason Smith, on oversight and judiciary and ways and means. They continued those investigations even while we were going through the tumult of the speaker's race. They were still working methodically through that. I'm encouraging that. I think we have a constitutional responsibility to follow this truth where it leads. We're the rule of law team. We don't use this for political partisan games like the Democrats have done and did against Donald Trump twice. We are going to follow the law and follow the Constitution. And I think you and I have a suspicion of where that may lead, but we're going to let the evidence speak for itself.
Mike Johnson, as a speaker, continues to say the right things without making any news. The stuff he's saying, it's like, good.
Mm-hmm.
Next. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People be like, say to me, what do you think about Mike Johnson? Do you like him? I'm like, what do you even know about him?
It's just weird in this political environment because you don't see people like him anymore.
No, of course, they're all over the place. They're the 95% of the people who are in elected government are Mike Johnson. There are a handful who can't. The most dangerous place you can be is between them and a television camera because you are about to get trounced. Most of them are like Mike Johnson.
Yeah, but not the ones in leadership that actually have that platform. They're bombastic.
Name all the people. Name all the people in the Democratic leadership.
Right now in the House or just in general? Hakeem Jeffries, Pete Aguilar, and that's Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
She's not in leadership.
I mean, she was the head of something.
The
I know her
DNC
name.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
What about Republican leadership? Like, how many people can you name in Republican leadership in the House right now?
I don't know if Kevin McCarthy's in leadership anymore, but Jim Jordan would be the head of that committee.
But what about the party?
Emmer is the whip. I don't know.
Is he still?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. He was. So I don't know if they've changed that. But I mean, there's just those handful of people you kind of generally know their names.
Emmer's not one of those, like, I can't wait to get in front of a camera type people, though.
No, he's not. No.
But he's in leadership.
He's the fixer. Yeah. I just made that up. If that implies something that I don't know, I'd take it back. My point is there are a lot of people in a lot of positions of leadership, and we don't know their names.
Mm-hmm. Well, would we even know Steve Scalise's name had he not been shot on that ball field. Were we really familiar with who Steve Scalise was before that event, or did that event thrust him into the spotlight?
I've said this many times. Get a piece of paper out. List as many elected officials as you possibly can. There are 435 people in the House of Representatives. There are 100 senators. You think you know a lot of people. You see a lot of the same people.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that Mike Johnson is there and doing really great work is not shocking to me. We know a dozen people in the House of Representatives in our party. And I'm telling you what, go ask 100 people that you encounter in the grocery store or on the street right now. Ask them to name 5 people in Congress. First, they'll ask you, does that include Joe Biden? And the answer is no. And then you'll have to see if they can name them. But people don't know. And the idea that Mike Johnson is like not a known figure, that's the way the majority of them are. And there's a difference between the media hungry people. Congressman Mike, that's one of the reasons I really like talking to Mike Bost, is because he talks to us because you are who he represents. A portion of the people in this audience, that's who he represents. The reason Jason Smith comes on my show and the other shows, Mark Cox specifically, he just made some news there with his interview with Jason Smith. The reason why Jason Smith, who is up there in the Republican Party in the House, come on this station is because they represent you. Mm-hmm. And you need to hear from them so you can hold them accountable. I'd assume that Mike Johnson, like, it'd be kind of as wild as Mike Bost being the Speaker of the House. Be like, really, our guy? What? And then you're like, yeah, I think he's a great guy. But we can't. The more we can spread out, and I think this was probably one of Matt Gaetz's points, the more we can spread out who gets to dramatically affect the direction of the Republican Party, the better it's going to reflect the people who sent those folks there.
That's a great point.
And so if Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House, I do not want him to come out swinging. I don't really want him to come out like Jim Jordan. I don't really want him to come out like a firebrand. I want him to get poop done. Mm-hmm. That's what I want him to do.
Get poop done.
I want him to get it taken care of so that he can navigate the party, which is very complicated, clearly, and get the business of the American people done. I don't want it to be about Mike Johnson. So I'm continuously happy that his interviews seem to be pretty boring.
Yeah, me too. It very easily, though, I mean, you mentioned this, it very easily could have been Jim Jordan. And then we would have had another leader of the Republican Party who was bombastic.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. And that's what I'm saying is that it's kind of refreshing to have somebody doing this.
Yes, that is the point. Is Gavin Newsom running for president? Yes or no? That's the YouTube live chat poll for question for today. And I want to know what you think about this. We talked a little bit earlier and kind of got sidetracked about the Gavin Newsom video that is rolling around the internet right now. He's playing pickup basketball in China, I believe, and he trips and falls on top of a child. It's not good. But it was an accident. It's kind of, as the word that Brad uses was cringe. I definitely feel as though it's cringe. I do feel bad for him in that moment because it's embarrassing. But you think he's running for president?
Man, I think he's running to be the next person in line should something happen to Biden. So I don't know if that makes him running for president or not. It's like a shadow campaign. So I'm saying no, but he's like standing off to the sidelines, rubbing his hands together. Like, I cannot wait for something to happen to Joe Biden because I'm ready to go.
He's just rubbing his hands together because he won't let people heat their homes and he's cold.
That's true, too.
He's 56 years old. I think Gavin Newsom's probably been running for president for 40 years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him in high school?
Yeah, I would guess that he's the exact same. Like, super slick. He's friends with everybody. Changes his positions depending on who he's talking to.
I would not have liked him in high school.
He would have made you like him.
No, he wouldn't have.
Yeah, he would have been like, Brad, I'm going to figure this Brad guy out. He doesn't seem to like me. I'm going to go make that guy like me.
I know. I had people like that in high school, and it's like,
Fairness, Brad, you didn't like anything about high school.
I didn't like anything about high school.
If people were in high school,
friends,
you didn't like them.
I had a couple
You would have liked Gavin Newsom. You would have loved him.
Oh, he sucks so bad.
He'd have come along.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
He'd have come along and been like, Brad doesn't like my slicked back hair. I think I'm going to have a skater cut now.
That dude would have totally had frosted tips in high school.
Yeah,
puka shell
for
necklace.
you.
Oh no,
All for you.
He's 15 years older than we are. That had just been the 80s.
Oh, he would have had 2 shirts on, both with collars popped up.
Even worse.
He would have had a collar on the top, collars on his sleeves,
sweater tied around his shoulders,
collar on the bottom, all of them popped.
I'm just sitting here in St. Louis trying to Google where Gavin Newsom went to high school, and Wikipedia's like, nobody cares. And I'm like, yes, they do. It means something.
Absolutely does.
And I'm from Illinois. I don't even know what it means. All you people asking, where'd you go to high school? My answer to that question is literally Illinois. and people are like, oh.
Yeah.
That means something, too.
Yeah, I don't know what it means, but
Gavin
I'd like
Newsom
to know.
Probably went to Naperville High.
Is that something?
That's just, if you're from Illinois and you went to high school somewhere, you went to Naperville. That's just what I find. Everybody who's anybody's from Naperville. Stupid Naperville.
So what you're saying is you didn't go to Naperville?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Brad.
What's that make you? If anybody who's anybody went to Naperville.
Pretty broad statement. I think you're mostly talking about yourself here.
Maybe I'm talking about the people I went to college with.
At SIU Carbondale?
Yeah, they were all from Chicago area, except for me. Everybody was, because they wanted to get as far away in state as they could get, and Carbondale was that. So it was all Chicago people and then me. They all were from Naperville.
Isn't it not wild that he was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle?
That is wild.
Mind.
Wouldn't you like to see them fight?
I'd like to see them fight now. I'd like to see them fight then. I'd like to see them fight before they knew each other. I'd like to see the whole existence of their relationship in every fight.
Sound like you're writing a Dr. Seuss book.
I'm trying to read his Wikipedia to find information that is interesting, and it's failing about Gavin Newsom. I don't know where he went to high school. We'll find out. Will you do a book report?
Okay.
A Gavin Newsom book report?
Yeah.
Will you do it like a 1920s radio report?
I will consider it.
Okay. Tomorrow.
Like that? No, not tomorrow. I got something planned for tomorrow.
Yeah. What? You think maybe can you get it done by 2025 when he's the president?
I'll get it done at his inauguration.
I'm just going to tell you this. If you do it and we're past the story, I'm not going to air it.
That might be tomorrow.
It could be with this news cycle. Is he running for president? What do you think?
Yes, this is what it looks like to run for president in this environment. You can't come out and say it like this, whoever Philip guy is saying. That guy has no chance. This is how you actually run for president right now, is do exactly what Gavin Newsom is doing. Go around, raise your profile, make everybody aware of you.
Mike says on YouTube, Gavin Newsom is the Shooter McGavin of high school. I am okay with that analogy.
Yep.
He is. Is Shooter McGavin about as unlikable as it gets as far as villains in a comedy? Shooter McGavin he's the worst. He's gross. You want to see him fail and fail big.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I always liked Shooter McGavin. He was so funny. The guy that played him was so good at it.
But you want to see his demise.
Yeah, I mean everything about him
That's why he's good.
It's comedically over the top.
I'm not
selfish.
talking about Shooter McGavin actor. I'm talking about Shooter McGavin, the finger gun guy who shoots the golf ball with rage when it goes in, and Happy Gilmore is having some success on the golf course.
I don't know. I got to tell you, most of Adam Sandler's early villains are all pretty good. You kind of hate all of them, but Shooter may be the best.
Newman in Billy Madison, whatever his name is. What is he, a wrestler at the end or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do the things he needs him to do.
That was the principal.
No, the main bad guy is Bradley Whitford. I don't remember what his name is in Billy Madison, but that guy was also very unlikable.
He's so Weasley.
He's super unlikable.
Yeah. He did that laugh.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Huh. That is without a doubt.
The guy from Wedding Singer who has the kind of poofed out hair. Remember that guy? He's kind of jacked. That guy was really annoying.
Oh, he's Drew Barrymore's fiance.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah,
that guy is. I hate that guy.
What
And I didn't even like that movie.
What does Adam Sandler know about villains?
I don't know.
He's getting so correct.
He gets it.
All right, let's take a quick break. We want to know. That should be tomorrow's poll. If Gavin Newsom were an Adam Sandler villain, which would he be? Man, if we get 7 votes in that poll, it's going to be a success for me.
Not even related to not even Newsom related. Just who's the worst Adam Sandler villain?
Wedding singer. What's his name?
I don't remember.
Singer villain. Glenn Gulia. Julia
Gulia.
All right, go vote on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
AirComfortService.com. Get your heating system checked right now. It's cold out there. It's really cold. It's like you have to wear your coat from the car into the house, into work, and then back out. Put your coat on like a grown-up. That's actually, I'm talking to myself. I don't know why I have such a hard time with coats. When it gets this cold outside and you realize your heating system in your house isn't working right, you need to call Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091. However, if you have had your heating checked and everything in your furnace seems to be working great, but your house still isn't achieving that comfort zone, you might need to check the insulation in your home. Did you know that 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated? And did you also know that Air Comfort Service can check this for you? They can resolve this situation for you as well. So you're not losing all of that energy, that warm air that you've heated with your good, strong working furnace, not seeping out of the roof of your home or the walls of your home. Your insulation can be fixed with Air Comfort Service. All you got to do is give them a call. Mention the Annie Frey Show when you do. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. And wear your coat because it's cold. Trust me, aircomfortservice.com.
Hey, everyone. This is Richard Deitch, and I host the sports media, the Richard Deitch Podcast. What can you expect from this podcast? Well, each week I'll have interviews and in-depth conversations with the people who bring you the sports you love, as well as roundtables with sports media reporters about television, digital, audio, radio, print, and other forms of media. If you are interested in sports broadcasting and how you watch, listen, and read about the games you love, listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Serving those who serve is a lifelong mission, one that Budweiser supports with Folds of Honor. Together, they've been helping military families for 13 years by funding life-changing scholarships. So join us in raising a Budweiser to raise funds for the families of American heroes.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
There's a music station that fits your taste at Odyssey.com. Download the app for instant access to hundreds of music stations and listen live to 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it or stream from 971talk.com. This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I never tried to make you think or let you see one thing for yourself. But now you're off with someone else and I'm alone. You see, I thought that I might keep you for my own. Amy.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So the YouTube live chat poll for today, is Gavin Newsom running for president, yes or no? Ryan, you said emphatically yes. What are you saying?
I'm saying it's a no, but because I don't think he's officially doing it.
I am a solid yes, and like I said, I think he's been running for president for 40 years. So we need to know what you think. Leave your comments on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Vicky says, heaven help us all if he is. Dan says, technically, Gavin is not running for... They must be close. Gavin is not running for president. He is just sitting in the weeds waiting like a snake in the grass. I added the last part. Chris said, I believe he will. Or Michelle. Jackie said, Newsom is running for president, no doubt. Wolf said, I said no, but I'm really hoping it's a no. As a California transplant, the country will be worse off if he got into office. So those are some of the thoughts that we have so far. If you want to leave a message, leave a comment when you go vote, we might feature your comment in the next segment, about 2:50 or so, when we give you the results, the yes or no of the poll. Come tell us what you think. Do you guys feel like you use outdated technology, or you technophiles? I like to have the newest technology when it is appropriate, but I'm not going to upgrade because something new became available if I'm currently served by the current thing that I have.
Yeah, I understand that. I never have the latest thing, but I never am sticking with the old stuff either. I'm about 2 or 3 years behind all the time.
Yeah, when it comes to phones, I'm behind, but it depends on what it is. I like to have the newest stuff when it comes to like gaming equipment because it just makes the experience better for me. But yeah, it just really depends if it's something that I'm really interested in or not.
If your phone breaks, if your computer breaks, if you're looking to buy a new car, whatever it is. So maybe you're not, something new and shiny is out, I'm going to run and get the thing because it's out. But you find yourself in a position to purchase. Brad, I'll go Ryan first. How important is it that when you get the opportunity to purchase that said piece of technology that it is top of the line, or are you just looking for the best, cheapest thing, best deal you can get?
Door number two, Annie. I'm looking for the best, cheapest thing I can get, but it can't be so outdated that I'm going to have to do it again soon.
How do you make that?
I'm looking for something that's usually, like I said, it's usually about 2 years behind, because then you're not having to pay the premium for the latest thing, but then you're also not going to have to come back next year and do this whole process again. I want to get something that's going to save my time too.
I'm buying the best thing that I can afford. The most, like a laptop, the best laptop that I can afford.
X is my budget. I'm getting the most I can get out of that budget.
Yep.
That's exactly, I guess, how I would put it myself too. Like when the phone that I have a Galaxy Ultra something 23 something, and it's whatever the best Galaxy phone was at the time. It's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It does more things than, it's got like a stylus in it, whatever. And I'm not used to having that, but I just went for the biggest thing that was available at the time. But I had the old phone that I replaced was over 3 years old, and it still functioned, but it starts to not work with other things easily or well, or you upgrade an app or something and the app isn't running on the same, system or whatever. So when I can upgrade, I want to upgrade, but then I'm going to ride it out. So you will buy 2-year-old technology to save money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I won't do that. It seems to me like didn't Apple get in trouble for slowing down old phones so that people would be pushed to buy new ones?
Yeah, they slowed down old phones so that the batteries would last longer was their line. We did it to increase battery life because if to run all these new softwares and stuff like that at the speed that the processors could run, it would drain the battery a lot faster.
But then people were upgrading their phones.
Yes.
They got in trouble for that. I want you to, okay, I'm going to go through a list of, this is from Yahoo, 20 outdated or obsolete things that people still use or do because they prefer it over new technology. So I'm a technophile. Brad, I'd call you a technophile.
Yeah.
You know and understand technology.
Oh, yeah.
I would not call you that, right?
I'm a reluctant user of technology.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The first one is I still burn CDs. My car only has a CD player, and it's just easier and less distracting to pop in a CD instead of fiddling with my phone and Bluetooth. When was the last time you burned a CD?
I still do it.
For what?
For the
work?
car. No, for the car.
You burn CDs?
Yeah, because we have 2 cars with CD players still.
Mhm.
It's just easier to do that. Although it's getting harder to burn CDs in general because the tech is so outdated.
I have a very nice MacBook Pro that because I use it for everything all the time, and I want it to have the full processing speed. There's no place to put a CD in here.
Yeah.
No. Most new computers in general, you can't.
I don't even know what this slot's for.
I still have an older computer
card?
that I can do it on, but even that computer's getting slow, so it's getting tougher.
Yeah, none of my computers have a CD drive at all. None of them do.
Do you ever? When was the last time you burned a CD?
Geez, at least 10 years ago.
Wasn't it one of the coolest things if you got a burned CD from somebody?
Oh,
They're like,
yeah.
hey, I made this CD for you.
Yeah.
Our kids won't know what that's like.
You put it in the visor of your car.
Or in the Bible of CDs that you had that sat in your passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Car keys. The remote start thing makes me so anxious. I'm dreading the day I need a new vehicle, and keyless start is the only option. Do you have a button push, or do you have to put the key in?
I don't have. Oh, you mean like to start the car? No, I have remote unlock, but I still have to start it with the key.
Do you put the key in the car?
I still have to start it with the key.
Yes, same.
Start it with a key.
Start it with a key. Mine is a button. I adore this technology because I don't have to find my keys to start the car. It did kind of freak me out at first, but I always have my key in my pocket. And when I get in the car, I just push a button and it goes on.
I want push button start in my vehicles, and I've added them to older cars that I've restored. But it's not like the.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, but it's not the way your car works. You have to turn the
You have
key,
to put in a code,
and then you hit the button to start it.
If I put in a car, if I could do that to my own car, I would want the button to say ludicrous speed. So when I started my car, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, race cars start with a button.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that tech throws me off though because I've never used it other than when I have a rental car.
You just get used to
I'm
it
sure you
fast,
do.
and then you're like, this is lovely.
But then because I'm so used to getting my keys out, I still do it when I have a rental. So I end up putting them in the cup holder, and then I get out of the car,
and then you leave them,
leaving them in the car.
You just got to break that habit.
But it's so smart that it tells me that it's still in the car.
It's like, hey, dummy.
Yeah.
Hey, dummy. Hey, dummy. Over and over and over again.
You look like you're from Illinois. This is Florida.
You must vote Republican in Illinois, don't you? I can tell. Number 3, not really tech, just not using it. I still handwrite a shopping list to take to the store with me rather than trying to juggle a phone and whatnot. Do you make handwritten lists, or do you take notes on your phone?
I do both, depending on what's close. If I have a pen and paper, I'll do it right then, but I'll do my phone too.
I prefer the handwritten list, but I'll use both. But I'd rather just write it down.
My husband and I use Keep, which is an app. It's a Google-based app, but you can make notes and share notes. So we have a shopping list it's our Keep list for shopping, and it has checkboxes next to it. So you can just add things to the shopping list at any time. If you get it, you hit the checkbox, it goes to grade and underline and gone. Yeah. So anytime you're in the kitchen, because that's always the hardest thing, isn't it? Where you go to the store and then you forgot to get like 5 or 6 different things because you weren't thinking about needing it right then. And then within the next 24 hours, you're like, God dang it, I needed to get blah, blah, blah. So I do a lot of that. I also, if I get a business card from somebody, if I take notes on something, I take a picture of all of that stuff.
And you know what that one thing always is? Velveeta.
We don't buy Velveeta. Man, if you're that passionate about it, I just assume you put a brick in your cart every time.
I almost do now.
Just a backup.
Yep, just a backup brick.
Just melts it down.
Yep, it's got to be Velveeta.
I'm not really hating on Velveeta. It's delicious. We just don't buy it.
Yeah.
I own a tabletop radio in my house. This is kind of hurtful. It's actually really pretty and has a walnut veneer on the outside. I didn't own a TV for about a decade of my life and spent 2 years living in the middle of a national forest where we couldn't get any TV signal and had no internet and cell signals were iffy. So I kept up with the world and news through listening to the local NPR station. Just kidding. Not really. Which had a tower in the national forest I lived in, so we got a great signal. I think it's interesting listening to a radio.
We did this for a while when our twins were babies because we didn't want to have screens everywhere. We had radios all over our house, and we'd just turn on the radio and listen to whatever all the time. It was fun.
NPR?
No.
That's where we drew the line. I think NPR would be very soothing. Just put it that
I mean,
way.
they have nice bump music. I'll give them that.
What about you?
I like radios. I like old, but I like it for a nostalgia reason.
My son has a radio in his room. He doesn't have a stereo. He doesn't have a computer. He doesn't have a television. He has a radio. And so he'll listen to the local St. Louis radio stations. In the summer, it's on KMOX, so he can listen to the Cardinals. And I don't think he ever puts it on 97.1. I don't blame him.
That's a shame. He doesn't want to listen to Mom.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough of that. That's why I'm in my room.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to
Listen
that.
to Mom preach.
She's the one who put me here.
Pretty much. But he listens to music and stuff on the radio, and I love it. He actually talks about wanting to be in broadcasting.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm like, yeah, let's think about it. We'll see. He would be able to do it. But I do think that radios, how many people listening to us right now are listening on the Odyssey app? Where you pull it up on your phone and you're Bluetoothing
More
it into
than
your
ever.
car. Yeah.
I mean, that technology is growing.
We've got 105 people watching our radio show on television right now. Ooh, Brian, don't make that face. They're going to turn us off. There you go.
Oh, 106. It went up.
Are you smiling with your eyes?
Yeah, I am.
He's smizing. There's just a lot of different ways you can consume what we do, and to think that everybody is listening on the radio, although we love it when you listen on the radio, listen on the radio. We appreciate that. Number 5, my grandparents taught me how to budget money with actual envelopes. Take out what you need for a month, have separate envelopes for bills, food, travel, rent. Put the budgeted amount in each envelope. Use only what is in the envelopes. Put any extra from all the other envelopes into another envelope and use for whatever you want. Isn't that what Dave Ramsey said?
Yeah, I was going to say, my grandma didn't teach me that.
Yeah,
Great.
Dave Ramsey did. But it sounds like something responsible parents would do. But budgeting on paper and with cash versus electronic everything. Are you a cash guy?
I still like to always have cash, but I'm not exclusively cash.
Are you more likely to spend money if it's cash in your wallet?
I'm less likely to spend money when I have cash. That's why I like carrying it, because it's like a check on me. Oh, do I actually want to put $20, $30 down on this?
But
because you can just charge it so
easily. Do you
easily.
only spend or buy things with cash? Because I don't. If I get cash in my wallet, it just sits in my wallet for a long time.
For an emergency.
Yeah, until I need to use cash for whatever it is. Sometimes that emergency is buying a ticket to watch Jensen play volleyball, but
that's where I need cash for.
That's where you need cash.
Admission for the $3 it takes for an adult to come in to a sporting event and watch.
Or if you go down to Lambert's, they're cash only.
The roll place?
Well, they used to be. I don't know if they still are. Yeah.
It's a really random tangent to not actually be sure that you're correct about it.
They always were.
Number 6, I once bought my husband a smart cooking thermometer. It sends an alert to your phone when your meat reaches the right temperature. He looked at me like I lost my mind and asked me why in heaven's name I would need such a thing. We took it back. I don't know what I was thinking. But when it comes to like gadgets that connect to your phone, and you're like, it's a meat thermometer. Don't need my phone to be involved. Have you ever done anything like that where you got something that was super tech oriented and you're like, this is completely unnecessary?
Yes.
What?
It's a camera. Like a camera that we could move around and look around the house with. So pan, tilt, zoom camera, and you control it with your phone. And then we looked at the country of origin and we're like, oh, let's unplug this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Smart
Because it has
stuff.
to connect to your Wi-Fi for you to be able to use it.
Yeah, so China can see. So number 7, I prefer using my MP3 player instead of my phone's music playlist for several reasons. A, the MP3 player is smaller and more portable than my phone, and there's a clip on the back to hook it to things. B, the battery doesn't run down as quickly on my phone. And C, I can put my music from my CDs onto my MP3 player via the desktop computer. Oh, and D, by spreading my music library among 3 devices, the MP3 player, my phone, and my desktop computer, I don't have to worry about losing my entire music library. I have in my time spent a lot of money on music, but I subscribe to Spotify now, and so I don't really have my own music collection other than maybe my albums for my record player. But
I use Apple Music, iTunes, and whatnot, and so there was a time when you bought the song or whatever, so I've got all that in my iTunes library, but that's all linked to my email address. And then I subscribe to Apple Music, so if I don't have the song on my own list, it just plays. I don't buy any new music anymore.
This is a great example of me being behind because I know that at some point I'm going to switch over to Spotify or whatever for my music, but I still haven't. I'm still doing the CDs because my cars have CD players.
My car has CarPlay, and I can just hook it up to my phone and talk to Siri and make it do whatever I need it to do.
wearing a regular watch, do either of you wear watches?
No.
No.
My problem is I'm left-handed, and watches go on that wrist, and it shakes and rattles around. I hate it.
Just put it on the other wrist.
It shakes and rattles around, and I hate it.
So it's not so much that
It's
you're
not
left-handed.
that, but
that seems to not have as much to do
But
with
here's
it.
the thing: if you're like, I want to check the watch or check the time on my left wrist. I don't. This feels awkward to me going with my right hand. I can't explain it. It just is.
I don't understand. Well,
And I don't need a watch
other
bad
than the
enough.
shaking and rattling and rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and rattle and roll. Let me up the ante a little bit and say that I actually used to wear a watch, but I have two friends of mine who are watch guys. They are way into watches, and I am so against it that I'm like, you know what? You guys can indoctrinate me into your culture at some point, but you're going to have to work for it. So I've almost removed myself from it.
How can you be so against it that they still influenced how you wear watches?
Well, one of them gave me a watch as a gift, I think, for my wedding. So I wore that watch for a long time, but once it got old and it doesn't fit right anymore, I just never replaced it.
You can get it altered.
I can, but I don't want to because I'm done with it. I want to put that as a chapter in my life that I've closed now. And I want them to convince me why I'm wrong because I love sort of being a bystander and them being like, oh, we got to get you involved in the culture. And I'm like, hey, I'm open to it, but you got to convince me. It garners a lot of joy for me to be the guy who's not involved but is being courted.
He's like, tell me I'm pretty.
I was just going to say, you're a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, it's great. I understand why 16-year-old girls enjoy life so much now.
I still can't find my smartwatch, and it drives me crazy every single day. And I'm trying really hard not to go. This is an example, going back to a few before, where I might be in the market to buy new technology. I don't want to research watches. I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a new watch. I will if I can't find my watch. But I'm going to be very angry when I buy it and then my watch shows up the next day. And so I'm putting that off, but I just need to do it. What about writing your contacts down in a notebook just in case?
Nope.
Everything's digital.
Yes.
I used to have a little book that I still have it somewhere. It's got a bunch of people that I knew from high school's original numbers in it.
Last one I'll read today. I use a double-edge razor to shave, and I just finished polishing my shoes with wax and a stiff brush. In both cases, it takes a little longer than using an electric razor and those shoe polishing pens, but I enjoy the ritual, and I don't mind it taking a little bit extra time. Let's go to the manly man in the room with the beard.
Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a safety razor.
She looked at me for a second, though.
I was going to let you guys decide.
She
I
tricked
wasn't
me.
making a judgment. I just thought the manliest man would speak up.
Well, here's what we know then.
All right.
I do have a safety razor, and I
She was
use
talking
it.
to me.
No, she wasn't. But this will appeal to you, Ryan. You can get
what
blades.
we do is I don't even use an electric razor at all. I use a
Oh,
hush
direct
up!
hit.
She was talking to me.
Direct hit. That was a strike right down the middle. Fastball coming in hot.
I have, you know what I've gotten past is even using the double razors at all because there was a triple and a quadruple. I'm just using a single anymore because I'm so strong. And I'll just bleed.
He doesn't even know what they were talking about. It's called a safety razor, and it's a double razor because there's a blade on each side of it.
I don't use those.
That's what he's talking about.
Ryan, this is what we call
and you can
mansplaining.
You can get 100 blades for $10.
Look at a man spreading.
Anyway,
Can we not?
I use it whenever I shave. I'm trying the no shave November thing, so I won't be using it this month. But
Ooh, you too.
No shave November?
No shave November.
No shave, no
Can I
trim.
shave my neck?
No.
Yeah, I gotta
Don't
shave my neck.
anything.
It get all itchy. I'll let my beard grow a little
You
bit,
can
though.
scratch it.
No, of course you could always scratch it. It's not like I was like, darn, I wish I knew what to do with this itch.
I don't even know how to set parameters in No Shave November. What are the parameters?
Well, mine are I'm not trimming or shaving. So my beard is just going to grow.
Your neck?
Nope.
I know
Yeah,
where
you're
it is. I don't
Yeah.
know what that means.
Nope. Well, my beard's long
He
enough
just
now.
looks up at the ceiling like,
Like
here it is.
showing me this is what
Long
it is.
enough now that I don't need to shave it.
So you're saying you're man enough to not have to do anything about it, Ryan?
That's not what it means to be man enough. Being man enough means standing up to bullies like Annie. And I just did it. I just showed St. Louis how to do it.
You gonna shave your neck?
Yeah. Whatever you want me to do, I'm doing the opposite. What do you want?
I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it.
Let's listen to Pure Prairie League in the meantime.
YouTube poll results. When we come back, and a story about chili. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
What you wanna do? I think
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
for a while, maybe longer if I do.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan and your safest place for having those conversations about that really big loan that you're about to take out for your home. It's the biggest loan you're going to carry, and you want to make sure that when you go to get that mortgage that you do it in a smart, intelligent way. That smart, intelligent decision starts with seeing if you want to hire Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage to help you with your mortgage process and talk to you about the bagel loan. When you use a bagel loan for your mortgage, you pay zero in closing costs that the other lenders out there are going to charge you for. The amount of money that this can save you is drastic. So talk to Stewie by calling or texting 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440, and ask him how a bagel loan can help you. He can close really fast, in less than 2 weeks. That makes you a more competitive buyer. You've got more money in your pocket because you don't have to pay the closing costs. That makes you a more competitive buyer. And don't forget, he can allow you to generate those pre-approval letters once you've been pre-approved right from his website, so you don't have to wait on a third party to get it done. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you want to lose weight, I've got a great idea for you. Mark Cox here for my friends at Victory Men's Health. They're now offering FDA-approved semaglutide. They have tremendous results with this medication. The average patient loses 15% of their body weight. Men and women can get semaglutide from Victory Men's Health at any of their 3 locations. Be sure and book your appointment today online at victorymenshealth.com.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to maximize your investment. The rising prices on vinyl siding has made Hardie siding a great alternative. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie Shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
The Capitol Grill is effortlessly arranged and customized for you. Whether it's a private room, an elegant table setting, dry-aged steaks paired with world-class wines, or an intimate party or business reception, make this part of your memorable private dining experience this holiday season. Every private dining room is elegantly appointed and offers seating capacities that range from 12 to 60. For reservations, call the Capitol Grill in Clayton today, 314-725-0930, or visit thecapitolgrill.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Today's Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll is Gavin Newsom running for president, yes or no? We've weighed in on this issue, and we all agree on many different points, but we've come to different conclusions as to yes or no. Let us know what you think. We'll give you the results here in just a couple minutes. It's 2:51. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Keller, you want to get the final word before I break here?
37% approval rating for Joe Biden as president right now, the worst since Harry Truman in American history.
There you go. That does it. Spike the ball.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I think I said this last time that we played this song, that this is what I imagine is just the synthesizers, what's going on in your head 24 hours a day.
It's not super far off. If I'm in a bad mood, though, it's just in a minor.
We should ask our friend Jeremy Boyer to play Take On Me in a minor.
Yeah, add a game.
See what I could do.
That'd be awesome.
Here we go.
Take on me. Take me on.
Yeah? Don't let me down. Ooh, that's the right note. Now do it in minor. No.
I'm in too good of a mood.
That's impressive.
Man,
That's impressive.
if we had 2 more segments left of the show, Ryan would take us places. He's on that direction. He's on that path, which is strange for Monday. The YouTube live chat poll for today is Gavin Newsom running for president, yes or no? I am a yes. Ryan?
Yes.
Brad?
I am a no.
You're a no. Do you... I have to hesitate to ask this question in the YouTube poll every day. Is Joe Biden the nominee in November 2024? Do you think he's the guy?
Yeah, I still do.
No.
No. I think the last time you said no.
I don't think... I would say that my position has maintained that it will be Joe Biden, but it's gotten a little less secure as of late.
My position is maintained that I've been inconsistent in my position.
D, all of the above. I just can't imagine the Democrats going, yeah, he's our guy.
I think it's just all inertia of being there. I don't know that they really like him. Obviously, the majority of voters don't want him to be the nominee, but the system is the system, and he's already there.
They would, if Joe Biden were the best that we had to offer, I would be in an utter panic.
Mm-hmm.
So are they in an utter panic? Or do they know something we don't know? If they're in an utter panic, the only thing that I think calms that panic is the hope and the prayer from the left that Donald Trump is the nominee and people hate him too much. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I think you're right.
How often when you talk to people who are not Republicans, not conservatives, they have principles, they have perspectives, they have values, they're not the same as mine. Okay, fine. God bless America. If you were to ask a question about it, how often is the first response centered around Donald Trump?
I would say almost 100% of the time.
Certainly way more often than not.
Oh, yeah. It's the vast... I mean, really, he is the conversation. And Joe Biden exists within that conversation, but it's still centered around Trump.
I've said this before. I feel like if Donald Trump weren't in the conversation, we'd be able to talk about actual policies and issues. And I'm quick. People are quick to remind me that are in the pro-Trump camp that if Donald Trump is out of the way, it's going to all happen to the next person. I believe it will. I think that Donald Trump makes the case more difficult. He makes it harder to defend. He doesn't defend himself the way I wish he would. But if Donald Trump is able to come back in and be the president of the United States again, it's going to be wild. You're in the right place to get all of the coverage of that. St. Louis is home for conservative talk right here on 97.1 FM Talk. The YouTube live chat poll for Monday, October 30th, is Gavin Newsom running for president? With 175 votes, 66% of you say yes, he is. So I'd say that's a pretty confident direction that they're heading in, and we will watch and we will wait and we will see. Stick around. Mark Reardon coming up next.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon getting ready to get the week started. And looky here, Cori Bush has a primary opponent for next year. But will it even matter? We'll talk about it coming up.
Gateway ENT, online at gatewaydrs.com. If you're looking for an ear, nose, and throat person in the business, the ENTs at Gateway ENT are the best that St. Louis has to offer. There's really something special about going to the oldest private practice ear, nose, and throat group in the area. They've been around for over 40 years. They work with babies to those folks in their golden years, and they can help get to the bottom of those concerns, those issues, the nagging problems that you have in your throat, with your sinuses, with your hearing. They can help you with these. You don't have to just deal with it from season to season, from month to month. Call Gateway ENT and schedule an appointment today. They're going to get you in way faster than you think. 314-843-3828. Call 314-843-3828 and visit a Gateway ENT doctor today. You can find out all the information you need online about the doctors on staff, about the services they provide by visiting gatewaydrs.com.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments until next year? Are you tired of making minimum payments on high-interest credit cards? Is student loan repayment giving you the blues? Your home equity is at an all-time high. Use that equity to save hundreds every month. Call 314-567-GOLD now and give yourself a payment break. That's 314-567-GOLD. Or visit goldenoaklending.com. NMLS 114937.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee, if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at californiapsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces.